Welcome to another episode of Mostly Superheroes. This week, real fan mail. Rick Moranis was attacked. More DCs from DC and the MCU. Spider-Man news again. And The Mandalorian, Season 1. This is Mostly Superheroes. What do you guys think of that intro?
It was awesome.
Way different, huh?
Beautiful. New board.
I even did that camera. I looked right at that camera and I said all that.
And then, bam.
And then,
residency in Vegas, here we come.
don't worry, listener, we're not going to do it again. But
your cat just walked in, too.
all day if we want it. There's a cat in here this time?
Yeah.
Is he gray?
I don't remember.
There are only two cats around here, Nora and Ollie.
I hope it's not a third.
Oh, yeah. Right. If it's not a gray cat and it's not a yellow, black, and white cat, we got a problem.
I think it was the second one.
Okay, that's Nora.
I'm allergic to cats, so I just immediately don't look at them.
Do you want me to stop? I can get her out of here.
No, it's fine.
Is it one of those?
I got meds. I'm good.
Are you sure?
Promise.
You tell me. It's a quick pause and I run them up.
Carry on.
Okay.
We'll be good.
All right. Well,
some things are more important, you know.
Well, not over your health.
Just over here dying.
Hey, we finally got fan mail. We need to read that first.
First I ruin Andy's life with Instagram. Now he's getting sick.
No.
Sacrifices you make sometimes.
Andy, Mike, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show.
I mean, you just keep throwing out a text and we just keep showing up. So
yeah, it's that easy.
I don't need MapQuest to get here anymore, so.
Yeah. Well, I'm Logan. This is Mostly Superheroes. And for those that are listening for the first time, you're probably thinking, God damn, this podcast sounds good. And it probably always has. But the truth is, we have just recently upgraded equipment. Full disclosure, it is my first day recording with any of this. As you guys know, I'm a novice audio person. I've been learning everything this year. New mics, first of all.
I mean, you got them yesterday, correct?
Literally yesterday. Out of the box. We got for those podcasters out there, we got the Shure SM7B. I believe we got the sticker up here. I mean, it's like the most legendary mic. Our buddy Will over on Bussin' with the Boys, it's what they use. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's what Joe Rogan uses. It's just like tons of people. And then we also got the Rodecaster, so now we got, I mean, you said it.
I mean, yeah. He can do so much with this gizmo in front of him. Yes, I said gizmo.
And
it looks so cool.
And there are so many surprises. And I'm excited for the listener to have like a really good, rich experience today. It's going to be a fun show. But for you guys to not even know what I'm going to do, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, we talk about the day before, kind of like, hey, what's going on? What have you guys been doing? What have you been watching? But when we pulled up, there was a glee on Logan's face that you could see from the street. And he's like, hey, come on, let's go.
We got to get
a glee or a shit-eating grin, one of the two. I'm not sure.
Either way, I'm in high spirits today. You know that feeling you had when you were a kid and you opened up that special toy? That's what I've been going through for the last 24 hours. Opening this thing was like, I was always going to open something like this. This was like the adult best toy I've ever bought for myself in my whole life.
It's very colorful, too.
Yeah, I mean, that alone, I was like, okay, out of the box, it's impressive. All right, so we do have a jam-packed episode today. Upgrades to the studio. Hope you guys enjoy it. If it's a little rough, bear with us. We're learning. Recording with 3 mics and not really a studio. We're in a basement. For Christ's sake, we're in a basement.
I mean, you made it look pretty dang good, though.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We need to start doing like an I Spy every episode. Did you find this?
I'm waiting for somebody to start like picking apart these because I feel like it'd be cool if there was a question. It got to where we were popular enough where there was a question every day with like, what's that?
Why do you have ketchup and mustard bottles?
Those were Carrie's, and they were already in the house when I moved in.
Are you ready for spring turkey hunting season?
Because if you are,
Or if not.
If not, either way, there's a VHS for the truth about turkey hunting. I like the tagline, in quotes, tricking them. Don't even need to watch the tape.
Nope. Know exactly what to do.
So yeah, we do have some real fan mail. So with that, let's just get into it.
Fan mail.
It's pretty cool.
What'd you think of that?
Whoa.
I feel like it's just gonna this is gonna happen all the time.
Mail.
That's me.
That's you?
Fan mail.
Oh, now I hear it.
Just made my own.
That was sexy.
You like that?
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like the talk back from Home Alone 2. Like you're talking in it, and then like
With the
yeah, and then you're like talking.
Yep.
You, like,
it does have that.
I had one of those.
It has that quality.
Yeah.
Like it's called in Adobe, it's called like broadcast over like a loudspeaker. But yeah. Anyway, you guys don't know how excited I've been just to hit buttons for you today. More than the content.
I think we did say it in an episode a while back. Like, man, you really need like, or it might have just been off air. Like, it'd be cool if you had some of these buttons, and then like you hit stuff. And, like,
Well, we're getting there.
yeah, you are.
So we're some real actual fan mail today. I'm excited to share. The first one, we have two. So we have two we're going to talk about.
Okay.
First one is from someone I know. But regardless.
But also a fan.
But also a fan. I mean, he obviously listens to the show because he didn't tell me he was going to send this in. It just showed up in my inbox. And so he's obviously listening on his own. That's pretty cool. Either way, it's a topic. I want it to be kind of an open discussion with this group here. We don't have to spend too much time here, but just for the sake of showing that we're going to answer this fan mail, because we said we would. The subject is fan mail, both spellings, because he picked up on the joke that I was laying down in the last episode. Mike, I don't know if you saw.
Andy's a male.
He is a male. He actually is. Oh, I had the male
Oh yeah.
because you made fun of me for having the
Well,
gender
I
symbol.
couldn't see. I'm sorry you had like 70 VHS tapes in front of you.
Didn't
Yeah.
you notice
I
that
got a
I've-
perfect
You
view
did
now.
move it. Now
Look
it
at
looks good.
that. Looks good now, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, since it's October, right away I can tell this guy's a genius.
Triple checks. Like,
Looked at the calendar.
Yeah, obviously. Someone forgot to flip their calendar. Oh shit! Better
that camera
update
might-
my calendar.
That camera might get a shot of this. It says it's September 22nd.
you're doing very good on your half lines through each date too.
man.
Because you could tell like you couldn't really reach it right, and you're like look at September 20th. Did you even care the day was done?
You can tell I just took a Sharpie and that I was
Like
reaching
reached,
and I was
yeah.
going,
That's good enough.
well, it is October, as Brandon points out, and he says, could characters from horror movies be considered supervillains? They obviously have some serious power and abilities. Thoughts? And my initial thought to this question was, first of all, really great question.
Yeah.
Because horror movies essentially are about villains with, like, no hero.
For sure. Yeah.
Because these characters usually have, like, an agenda, I feel like. What'd you guys think? I actually shared with you guys the deck today
Yeah.
for the first time in advance. Did you find that helpful?
Yeah, I did see this. I didn't see the next one, which is kind of. I like going off the cuff a little bit too. I like knowing, but I also like not knowing.
Yeah.
I could go both ways on this. I feel.
In terms of like it could be and couldn't be. Depends on who you're talking about.
Yeah. So like Wikipedia, I was like, what supervillain? Like, what do they come up with? Or super criminal
Yeah, what's the definition?
is a variant of the villainous stock character that is commonly found in American comic books, usually possessing superhuman abilities. So, if we have that superhuman aspect,
Mm-hmm.
there are like Pennywise, like has that kind of mythical, comes back every however so often and can transform and stuff like that. I mean, I would say Freddy has that. In
Mhm.
Dreams, Michael Myers. I mean, you can't kill him. Michael
Yep.
Myers. All the Halloweens have been on AMC, and I find myself watching them. I'm like, oh, this is gonna happen again, huh? Well, let's triple check to see if he's dead this time.
He's back.
Guys, you're not gonna believe
Jason,
this.
all them.
He's
too.
back.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah.
Hey, remember Freddy vs. Jason?
Oh,
Oh,
I
God.
think I saw it in theaters.
I think maybe we all blew. Yeah, I mean, we're the same age. We were all losing our mind
Yeah.
about that one.
Yeah. And then we had arguments of who won.
I tried to get a special guest on today for this segment, and it didn't happen this time. But he'll be around. It's Will Compton, of course. I don't know if you guys follow him on social media, like seeing all the Spooktober,
Yeah, they're
him-
huge on that.
Bussin' with the boys, they're all about this Spooktober, doing like the apparel. They like Will was at the store, kind of hate Michael Myers. I think that's like his favorite one.
Yeah, I saw that.
Couldn't make it today, but the guy really is. He's always loved, I feel like, scary movies more than the rest of us. We'll get him on here at some point, but I wish we could have picked his brain on it. Something you said intrigued me. It's like Freddy Krueger, Jason, a lot of them do come back every so often. So it's almost like it's out of their control to an extent. It's almost like you're a ghost demon and you come back and like that's how you have to kill so many people and then you go away for another 30 years.
I think Pennywise is 30 years, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. In the town of Derry.
Yeah.
In it's every 30 years. Every 20 some years.
27 maybe.
Hey, honey,
Something-
we've lived here
something like that.
29 years. Why don't we get out? Is it 27? I think it might be 27.
Yeah, if I was the adults in Derry, I'd be like, you know what we're going to do in minimum 25 years?
Yeah.
We're going to move.
Get the fuck out.
Remember when we were kids? But that's the thing. Well, they didn't really remember. We're not going to get into it right now,
Yeah,
but
They
great
kinda-
book.
They desensitize, just like.
Are there any that you think of that have like a driven, like an agenda? Because I feel like that's what makes a villain a supervillain. It's not just somebody that's evil. It's somebody that says, I'm evil, and here's a good plan.
But they want to take stuff
Yeah.
over. I don't know if necessarily all these want to take anything over, but exact revenge in some way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna call anyone from horror movies super villains. Just villains works, but I'm not gonna call super. Like, does that answer the question? I guess I don't know.
Well, I think the question
That's
is,
the-
I think
that's
the,
where
I
the
think what
gray
he's,
area is.
I could be wrong, and I'll see Brandon because again I know him, so I'll ask him. But I think what he's getting at is like, are they villains or not? Is kind of what I'm thinking.
Super villains. Because I think
Well, yeah, but like,
villain is bad.
I think you got to start with the definition of villain, because a villain is again a person that's like a wrongdoer, that's like out to. I feel like there's a benefit to being a villain. Like you're either trying to rob or ruin someone's day for like you get happy about it. But like Freddy Krueger, he's just showing up and killing people because it's like been 20 years or whatever. And then he's like, I'll do it again in 20 years because I'm just a ghost guy with my sweater and my Edward Scissorhands.
Now this one, the definition of villain kind of makes me think that yes, they are.
Let's hear it.
Because
What's your source?
I typed in villain
The
definition
dictionary.
and then
Google.
Google had it. It says, in a film, novel, or play, a character whose evil actions or motives are important to the plot.
Well, then that is so. It's the plot. So I guess it's always in a story.
Yes.
How interesting. Villain's like not even considered like a real word.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I think
Then I can go to dictionary.com, and then they say like the number one. So the second one that I just read came up. Number one says a cruelly malice person who is involved or devoted to wickedness or crime, a scoundrel.
So many definitions. You'll probably find a different one everywhere.
I think all the horror movies are always about, unless it's like a thriller horror movie, but I think we're excluding things like
Scream
and Saw. Yes, people that are like murderers, because those are villains.
Mhm.
Here's a
Yeah.
murderer.
Yeah.
But like, where do you put Jason? Let's just try to do that. Let's try to pick a couple and you say villain or not. Jason. From every Jason movie you've seen, like he's just walking around swinging.
But his motive, he has a motive of why he does
Yeah.
that.
Because he was,
Because he
drowned.
drowned when the counselors were messing around.
yeah.
Shocker.
Yep. Freddy Krueger.
He was burned
Same.
alive by the townspeople, so now he haunts their kids because he was burned alive.
I'm going supervillain solely because a lot of these are vengeance driven.
And the word I'm getting hung up on is not villain, it's the super part.
Same.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's
You see
fair.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
super.
So maybe let's go one more definition further, Andy. What's supervillain? Is it just what constitutes a supervillain? Are you like having to cross borders? You gotta hurt so many countries, you know?
Yeah.
Like supervillain in my mind, what comes to mind immediately is Lex Luthor. Like mastermind, world domination minimum. Like I feel like you got to be world domination minimum to be a supervillain, first of all.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be like, I'm going to take over like the Midwest. You're like, oh, well, you're just a villain.
Supervillain is a variant of the villainous stock character that is commonly found in American comic books, usually possessing superhuman abilities.
Usually
The antithesis of a superhero. So it's kind of
interesting. So it's just the complete
vague.
opposite of a superhero.
But we really don't have. So we don't have those in those horror movies. We just
Correct.
have.
But I guess you could argue
I
that
agree
the
with that.
protagonist in those movies is like the one that makes it.
Yeah.
There's always one at the end that like makes it. That's your good guy trying just to survive.
And like if you break it down, like Jason, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, they always come back. So they have that supernatural ability to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this question.
Pretty good.
The super
Loaded.
thing is kind of getting me because I think comic book.
You know, since we couldn't get him on, I'm going to challenge him right now. I'll put this on a little clip. Will, if you can give us your take on this.
Yeah.
Are horror movie characters supervillains? Yes or no, and what's your take?
I think I lean yes.
Give us a
After
little
all that we've talked about. I have to lean
yes.
for yes.
I also agree. I am on like the yes because they're like trying to destroy at the end of the day. Cool. And any final thoughts on super villains?
I think we can agree on that.
You got any
Yeah.
favorite horror movies?
I'm not a big fan, for real.
I bet.
The Saw movies,
Yeah.
maybe? Like I
Yeah,
just,
that's
those are
basically a
just
little
ones where-
clown.
Yeah.
He's got the same look as.
You want to play a game?
Did you see the nickname I gave you in our latest episode?
Chomper?
I started with Chomper and I was like, that's stupid. The Giggler.
They're getting better.
Got the Giggler and PC Mike. I mean, obviously I just call you guys by your names, but
Yeah.
you are getting some pretty good nicknames.
What's your favorite then?
My favorite horror movie?
Yeah, John or film series, villain, super villain, if you want to call him that.
Yeah, I see. Like that's a good question because when I was thinking supervillain, my mind goes to again, like minimum Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Like he's a human that is superhuman abilities, and then you have like if you're staying in DC, just so you can have the same frame of mind. Then you got like a Brainiac that's like a AI that wants to be all over the universe. Then you got like Doomsday that's like or Darkseid. I'm gonna destroy everything and start over or whatever. But I feel like if you're less than Lex Luthor and you're like, that's the minimum to me for like a super villain. I guess if you were gonna, I feel like is the bad guy in Ant-Man a super villain, or is he just like a villain? And if you remember, like that's like just takes place in the town that Paul Rudd is in, so it's not like the world stakes.
Yeah.
So would you guys call that a super villain? I wouldn't. I'd be like he's got some good tech and stuff, but he's just like trying to take over this company and maybe make a few $1 million.
Yeah, you got to up your game.
You got to up
Get in
your
that
game.
super category.
So then I try to apply that to like a Freddy Krueger. And I think, okay, well, what is his game?
I mean, he's really just stuck on one street, right?
Valid.
Oopsie daisy.
I'd be pretty
So,
pissed too.
It's tough.
You move a block and a half over? I really like
Not,
that elm.
it's not Nightmare
Not
on It's not Nightmare on Maple.
No, it doesn't even have the same ring.
All right, so let us know what you guys think. What's your take on supervillains and not on the horror book character category? Let us know at mostlysuperheroes.com. Love to hear your thoughts. One more piece of fan mail. This one was actually not technically fan mail, but it was a individual and this group that's put together this graphic novel called The Unicorn and the Fox. Nick over there reached out. He said, thanks for taking a look at our graphic novel, The Unicorn and the Fox. I'm a screenwriter, but chose to do this project after a slew of screenplays were sold but did not go into production. While an indie comic, we've managed to get picked up by Comixology Unlimited, Amazon Kindle Unlimited, and have had press that normally only covers the bigger publications. I hope you enjoy the series. Feel free to reach out. Best, Nick. So basically, we asked for content. Someone sent us some. And I have not read it yet. I haven't checked it out. It's in my inbox. Nick has actually already emailed me. I'm going to check it out, but I just wanted to say, if you reach out and you ask me to check out something, I'm going to say yes. I mean, if I have the time, we'll see how much we start getting. But so Nick, over at Unicorn and the Fox, they're on Instagram. I figured I'd at least plug you on the show. You can go check them out on Insta. We're showing some images here of the graphic novel. You can see this on our YouTube channel. Just pulled it straight from their Instagram. Wanted to plug it real quick. I'll let you guys know whenever I take a look at it. And if I like it, maybe we can see if maybe we can share it with you guys too. We'll see.
Yeah,
I haven't really
awesome.
talked to him much about it.
Cool. I mean, graphic novels are awesome.
Do you read some?
I have. I think it's a great way to get younger people interested too in reading again.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're making now a lot of books into graphic novels to get kids interested in them, like famous stories. Like you can go find a graphic novel on almost anything, or book series. I know Artemis Fowl just came out. I read the Artemis Fowl graphic novel, so I knew about it. But Artemis Fowl before that was a book series. I mean, the movie, no spoilers, big stunk on Disney+.
Really?
Ooh, bad. But the graphic novel's very entertaining, and it gets kids, but still, like, even me, I'll pick up a graphic novel every once in a while and read it and go through it, and they're entertaining. So yeah, I'm very interested in this.
What about you, Andy? You ever look at graphic novels?
I've never done that.
I haven't really either. I have some in very recent years, like leading up to this, met more people that are involved in it, and I've actually had some discussions about having them on the show. So it might be an area that we explore more because it seems like it's a pretty fun world, and like I wouldn't mind having more content like around the house, honestly, to like pick up and sit down and read. I feel like I have too much screen time for this guy. I'm on too many screens. I'd love to pick up something, read it, and try a different type of medium than a TV show.
You could get into like mangas and all those.
What's that?
You read it backwards, basically.
Oh, like Memento.
You start at the back and like kind of go this way. I don't know how to read it. I know.
Like the words are just backwards.
Yeah, but I know students and kids read it. But they start at the end of the book and like they flip the other way and they go through them. It's wild. Yeah.
That's so.
I don't know how to do it, but
yeah, that sounds like it would give me a big headache.
Yeah.
Well, either way, want to give him a shout out. Thanks for sending it over. You know, if you want to get your stuff featured on the show, something you might want us to get us to review that we might get to talk about. Again, mostsuperheroes.com. This one came from my Instagram. He DM'd me. It's that easy.
Yeah, what's that handle? So
that handle is sorry for you listeners out there. It is the Unicorn and the Fox. And I won't say where else you can find them because I honestly don't know. I know for a fact they're on Instagram because that's where we've been having our dialogue. So go check them out. Looks like they do have a link to their Comixology page. And then they have some nice images on their page. So go check out the Unicorn and the Fox, and let us know whatever you're watching, or if you have some kind of content you're trying to get featured and start a dialogue around. Let's hear it. Before we continue, I'm gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. We're back. Yeah. So Mike was just telling me it's like how many pages?
It's a novel. I just looked.
This is the Unicorn and the Fox again that we were just talking about.
It's on Amazon. It says it's 44 pages. So. Perfect for Logan.
I mean, it is. I really do think that is like a perfect amount. It's like it's something that if you're definitely going to try something for the first time, I'm like, that's digestible. I can read that.
I mean, you could digest it as you're digesting too.
I mean, just keep it in a little basket on the back of your porcelain seat in the house.
It's chili season. So
nasty.
All right, guys. So that's our fan mail. Again, love to hear from you. You can email us at mostlysuperheroes.com. Again, this one came from our Instagram. Anywhere that you are, though, if you want to send us something to check out, we'll do that. So coming up next, of course, it's one of our favorite sections. It's What You Watching.
What you watching?
like a 90s cartoon game coming
What
down
you
the street.
watching?
Fuck yeah.
So, I mean, we did this section for the very first time on episode 12. If you want to go check that out, here we are. I think this is episode 14. If I'm correct. I think so. So, what you watching? This is where we talk about what we're watching out there in the real world, week by week. Whoever's in the studio, I'll ask them what they're watching. I'm gonna tell you what I'm watching, and even more importantly, you, the listener, we want to hear what you're watching. So let us know. Andy, did you have something prepared for today? I know that you had told me about a couple things that you were checking out. Maybe you.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you want to focus on one, and we'll do one apiece. I was thinking.
Well, yeah. Obviously, I caught up on The Boys. We'll get on that later for sure.
Yeah, later.
You know what? I think I may have left out a slide, so we can talk about The Boys real quick too. But
Spoiler free, please.
well, that's a good point, and also for our listeners, I didn't tease we were gonna do that. So, but you're caught up now.
Yes.
Reaction to the last episode you saw. Reaction, no spoilers.
I just can't wait till Friday.
Yep. Season finale.
that's why I'm happy that I haven't watched them all weekly until now, because it's a painstaking week, especially with how slow time's going now when we just don't leave our home.
Yeah, it's even worse. This week seems like it's dragging on.
Yeah, we're almost there.
So the boys, you're caught up. Nice job. Well, I have to maybe have you on for an episode. I want to do something special for the finale.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing live watches, and I try out a new format. An episode, I called it episode 13. It was really a mini episode, 17 minutes, where I watched it for the first time and gave my raw reactions.
Yeah,
so
I listened to that today to like.
What do you prefer? Because I do whatever feels most comfortable to me, obviously.
Yeah.
And my goal of it is to like recap the story and give some takeaways. But I don't know. What'd you think of the last episode?
I hadn't listened to any of the prior ones that were longer, where you like watched in commentary, because I wasn't caught up at the time. So I don't know if I can give a full answer on that.
Well,
but I am going to listen, because I want to kind of get your take on stuff, since we really haven't talked about it, because I haven't been caught up. So I figure the best way to do that is just listen to those babies, get that view count up.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. So for you listeners out there, for the boys on Amazon Prime, like Andy's saying, I cover those. I've done episodes on every episode so far except for the latest, which is the one before the season finale for season 2, episode 7, I think. I think 8 will be its last. And there will be one this week for a recap, but we'll see how it goes. But anything else that you're watching? Because we'll touch on that later.
Definitely. So this is something I'm constantly watching, because it's takes so few, like it takes a couple hours to watch it front to back. On Netflix, called I Think You Should Leave, and it's a sketch comedy show made by Tim Robinson, who used to be a writer for SNL. And there's only like 6 episodes. They're like 17 minutes each, and it's just like 3 or 4, like probably 4 like comedy. It's not. Oh my God, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Really? Yeah, this is the one you've talked about.
You guys need to watch this.
You've mentioned it to me before. I still haven't watched it. Is this the one you've mentioned, or is this something? Okay.
Yeah, we watch it at my house probably every week or every other week.
And you can tell I'm bad at watching stuff like on the sometimes it's like oh yeah, time to watch that show Andy talked about.
Yes, you really should.
And what's it called again?
I Think You Should Leave.
How many seasons are there?
Just one so far. There's another one is in production or pre-production.
Okay, so they got renewed for a season 2.
So it's just the stupidest humor, but it's so funny. I can't even put it. Me talking about it is not doing it justice. It's the show that gets better every time you watch it. Like I laugh more now than I did the first time I watched it. The first time I watched it, I was like, "This is just fucking weird. This is the strangest thing I've ever seen."
All right, so I promise you, I will watch it. I do. I promise I will watch it.
If you get to a point where you're like, and this is for you guys and the listeners, because I'm gonna vouch for the show forever, but this will probably be the only a few times that I talk about it, because I watch it every week. Obviously, I'm not gonna talk about it on the show every week.
If it's your only what you're watching,
but yeah, I watched I Think You Should Leave every day this week. But if you get to a point in like a few skits in, and you're like, this is stupid, just power through. You will not regret it.
So it's one of those.
Yeah, and then you'll watch it again, and you will laugh even harder.
That's so tough. It's a tough sell for me. I have to make it through like that first couple episodes, and if I don't, good luck getting me back.
Yeah,
I was scorned at a Denny's 5 years ago. Never been back.
I was scorned at a Denny's 2 or 3 years ago, and I've never been back either.
Denny's has a good way of doing that. So does Steak and Shake.
Whoa, Steak and Shake's fine.
Oh, you're right. When's the last time you've been to one?
Week and a half.
Drive-through?
Yeah.
They're doing free fries now because they can't get anybody to come in.
Well, now it's going to be this evening. Did not know about that.
How long you sit in that drive-through?
Not very long.
That seems crazy to me.
I live in the burbs, man.
Oh, you got the nice
burb life.
You got the nice Steak and Shake.
Yeah.
All right, Andy. Well, thanks for those. And just so you know, I didn't remember to mention that, but what you watching. It doesn't have to be like good. It should be like, if you watch something that's crappy, we need to know. Mike, what are you watching?
So I have a couple things. When you guys were talking about The Boys, I heard this on the news or through Twitter or something. It landed number 3 last week on streaming services. So it's kind of starting to challenge Netflix. It's Amazon's big boy now. People watched The Boys last week for 891 million minutes on Amazon Prime.
That's such a hard metric to comprehend.
And here's a trivia question for you two.
For The Boys.
No.
For
watch time. What was the #1 show last week watched on all streaming?
All streaming last week, minutes watched. I'm going to guess The Mandalorian.
I think you should leave. I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
Cobra Kai.
Which is
shit.
what just got renewed for what, season 4?
I don't know.
It's on Netflix too?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. It's either 3 or 4.
2.17 billion minutes people watched that last week.
Who's watching it?
I don't know.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
Dude, I haven't seen it either. It's got to be people that are. Go ahead.
Guess number 2.
Oh, there's a number 2.
Well, there's 1, 2, and 3. The boys were 3, and I just
The
have
boys
one.
were 3. Okay.
Is it on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Yeah. Give us a hint.
And another hint, it used to be on, I believe, Fox.
I don't know.
Gotham?
Lucifer.
Close.
Well,
No.
here's the thing about both those shows. Here's the thing too, Andy. You and I talked about this, especially when you talk about Netflix and any streaming service. The algorithms on those things are very strange. I feel like, and I feel like they're very smart. And you and I started rattling off shows when I was at your house the other day, and we were both like, "Oh yeah, I saw that," and I was like, "There's no coincidence that we've watched those both."
Oh, for sure.
So is it just? I guess those are 2 shows that they're putting up for new seasons coming up. Lucifer is going to have its last season, I believe, is season 6, and Cobra Kai I know it just got renewed for like 3 or 4.
And Netflix does a thing, and I find myself doing this, like a new top 10. I'm like, oh, I wonder what's on the top 10. Oh, this is 3 this week. Oh, I'll just
okay.
watch it.
Yeah,
it's 3.
that's where
it
I
must
get
be good.
all my
Interesting.
recommendations, basically. It's
Wow.
just straight to the top 10.
And then I guess a lot of the stuff we've been watching has been pretty good.
That's that stupid Colorado murder documentary thing that we both said. You watched it too?
Yeah,
we had
that
watched
was-
it.
that
We had
was-
watched it within hours of each
I-
other. When
I-
did you watch it?
I watched it, I think, Sunday in between, like, football games.
Are we gonna have to talk about it?
That's the one I pulled up. I literally
I don't
did.
even know what we can say other than just
It's really disturbing.
yeah.
We shouldn't spoil it, I
pisses me
guess,
off.
because I didn't know
I
anything.
mean, that was-
I didn't know what happened, and then
Oh,
I
you
watched.
didn't. You guys didn't know what happened?
I not really, but Carrie and I watched it, and she had said X happened, but I was like,
Yeah.
but I didn't know actually
Yeah.
like what went down, which
So
the
what-
documentary is all about.
What was the title of it for the
Uh,
listeners who were just talking? I guess we're
Yes.
American Murder: The Family Next Door.
Thank you. Yeah, we need
Okay.
that title in there. So that's on
Yeah.
Netflix.
I mean, it's recent. True crime is hot. Like,
Here's what's crazy about that documentary. I mean, I guess if I was gonna set it up without spoiling it, the show, there's murder in the name.
Yeah.
So I guess something. It's surrounding a couple, and what surprised me about the show and what really kept my attention was the amount of footage.
Yeah.
and it was footage.
It was footage from. It was almost like every person was just carrying around a camera.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which
it's a
nowadays.
it's a very famous case. If you're a true crime person, I mean, I've watched almost every true crime thing that's out there.
You listen to My Favorite Murder.
I don't listen to My Favorite Murder. I do listen to Crime Junkie.
Okay.
And I think Crime Junkie had this. But it
Yeah.
was showing stuff that made me, like, uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a peek behind the curtain of how kind of law enforcement and things happen. And it made me uncomfortable with some parts of it. I'm not going to lie.
Oh,
yeah.
there were
So
parts.
so messed up. Like
You were saying it got you too.
it's
We
like
should let's keep. I don't know if you keep it spoiler free on something like this. I feel like everybody
bet.
knows the story.
I bet we all had the same reaction. We probably told.
All
our
right, so
sig-
here's spoiler
significant
alert
other.
spoiler alert for that show. What's it called again? Just to get that title right. I don't want to.
American Murder: The Family Next Door.
I'm gonna say the spoiler just in case somebody's listening out there. I'm gonna say it in 3, 2, 1. The husband kills his wife and his 2 daughters that are what, 5 and 7.
Maybe
and,
even younger.
and an
than that.
unborn child. His wife was pregnant.
That wife was pregnant, and the most terrifying thing about it was that this. I mean, it could have been my neighbor
Yeah.
in the same like house.
Yeah.
And, like, we could do true crime all day. If we
Yeah,
really needed
obviously.
to.
Yeah, this isn't. But
Uh,
hey, this is where we get that
but
mostly.
for
You get your
me-
money's worth on the mostly right now.
For me, if you've ever watched Making a Murderer on Netflix, season 1 a lot better than season 2, but the interrogation scenes from Making a Murderer when the police kind of force Brendan Dassey, who should be out of prison right now. We could do that for an hour and a half. But kind of forced him into saying different stuff and made him like, this was the completely opposite, this interrogation, of him literally breaking down and spilling his guts of
Yeah.
what really happened.
Yeah, and also though, I think what was even more disturbing was just like how long it took to get there.
Yeah.
And,
How many lies?
And then the
Brendan Dassey just wants to watch WrestleMania.
Just wants to watch
give the kid a
WrestleMania.
break. Come on.
And then all the text and stuff back and forth. I mean, that was crazy too. If those were like real text messages, I mean, I'm sure they have them. How they did it kind of kept me engrossed. And
Yeah.
it's an awful, awful story. But
oh yeah,
but
there's
a
no
true
there's
crime,
no two ways
if
about it.
you're into true crime and like learning about it and kind of stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Well, it's crazy, and it's regardless of how terrible it is. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And it's like just one of those things that it might be helpful to watch. Keep an eye on those neighbors.
It
Yeah.
obviously like cuts deep when like my instinct after it was over was to tell Steph,
We said
hey,
that.
just so you know, I promise I'll never murder you.
I told
like-
Carrie the same thing.
Yeah.
I said I
That's-
don't know if this was on the table, but I'll never
just
kill you.
flipped.
Yeah.
You just flipped.
He
Yeah.
just flipped.
All right. Well, geez, good. What you watching, guys? Man, this is gonna be the thing.
And it doesn't have to be. I mean, we're human. Like we don't have to watch superhero stuff 24/7.
That's
365.
Why do you think we named it mostly superheroes, guys? I'm
Yeah,
sure people
mostly-
people gotta be tired of hearing that, but this is like I said, this is where you get your money's worth on the mostly. All right. Well, I think I'm up, so I'm really excited to share that we have started, Carrie and I, the Fast and Furious saga.
I forgot about
They're
this.
going to space next one, I think.
Oh, I'm gonna plug a podcast real quick before I just talk about how much I love these movies, because I do love these movies. Get it out of the way. Do I acknowledge the ridiculousness of everything? Yes, but I love them. Regardless, I'm gonna plug this podcast because this podcast has exponentially made my fandom of the show go up here. It's How Did This Get Made?
Uh-huh.
Definitely one of the inspirations for me to even start a podcast. It's the How Did This Get Made? It's the cast from The League. Remember The League?
Mhm.
Like with Andre
Yeah.
and Jason Mantzoukas. Andre's the character name. I forget. Paul Scheer, I think his name is.
Yeah, Paul Scheer's one of them in there.
And his wife, June Diane Dreyfus? No, that's the Seinfeld.
Yeah, Julia Louis Dreyfus is the sign. She's Elaine.
I'm
and
combining
Phoebe.
two names, but it's June. Her first name's June. So if you ever watched the show The League, you know right away kind of who you're dealing with. Hilarious show.
For sure.
They talk about movies that like are bad. That's like they break them open. Sometimes they do it in in front of a live audience, but sometimes it's just a podcast, just like this. But they actually love the Fast and Furious movies. They didn't get started till like Fast 5, so like they started talking about them. They didn't have any of the back history, which was hilarious in itself because they were like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, didn't you know Tokyo Drift is a prequel?"
I didn't even know that.
That's when I stopped watching all of them. I got to catch up.
All right, well, we're going to talk about it real quick, just a tease, because we're going to be talking about these movies. They released the trailer, I believe, for Fast 9.
Or was it like
John Cena.
Was it a fan-made thing where it's like the only place to go is space or something like that?
Hope they have Coronas in space.
Her name was. You were kind of close. It's 3 names. So
What is
you
it?
were
What is it?
June,
Uh-huh.
Diane,
I was very close.
Raphael.
Come on. Those are very similar names.
Yeah.
Two for 3.
Definitely go check them out. Like I said, kudos to you guys. They've been making episodes for 10 years. They probably got over 1,000 episodes. I mean, they do like I don't know if they did Superman, but they do old 80s movies. They did all the Van Damme movies.
They have 250 episodes, so I mean, still a lot.
Yeah, not 1,000.
You undershot.
Go check them out. Carrie and I just watched The Fast and the Furious, because I want to get all these titles right as we do this. And Too Fast, Too Furious.
Too fast for y'all, mate.
That's right, Luda.
That's a banger of a song right there.
So just a little history real quick, but I can't get into it because that'd be the whole episode. We're going to watch all of them. We're going to I want to start doing this thing called, we've been doing deep dives, We're going to do one today, but I've decided there's a difference in like a deep dive and then like a retell. A retell is where you're like, we got to recap this thing out loud so that we can understand it in our brains, and we got a fun one for you today. And we're going to try to do it together. We'll see how well we do. It's going to be tough because there's a lot of names we don't know. And of course, I'm talking about The Mandalorian. I'm just going to get that over with. So more to come on Fast and Furious. That's what we're watching right now. And whether it's an episode with, I know we talked with your buddy that knows a lot about it. I might try to get somebody in here that knows a lot. Maybe somebody that doesn't really know much, so we can like tell them. So it doesn't feel like we're just telling each other.
Yeah. Before you move on, I want to challenge you.
Okay.
Name the Fast and the Furious movies in order of release.
Of release.
Yes.
All
No,
right.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
No, you're gonna have to go like Tokyo Drift's actually a prequel. Do you watch in?
It is.
Do you watch in release order, or do you watch in?
That might be the only movie series where I break my rule of release order only, because this prequel exists for no reason, and it's caused all sorts of weird questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have The Fast and the Furious, 2000?
Oh, you're doing dates. too?
2001?
Yep, 2001. Ding ding, ding ding ding. You have. Yeah, there it is.
I love the person in there.
Like he went to the bathroom or got a beer and just got back, and like everyone's cheering. He's like, "Woo!"
He's like, I'm in on it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Too Fast, Too Furious, 2003.
Boom.
Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift,
Boom.
2005, 6.
Yep.
I need a ding ringer.
Yeah.
I got some other surprises for you. Can't ruin them yet. That's the one that trips you up, because I know. Let me try. This is what I'm going to skip it for a minute. Can I skip?
Yeah, you can skip and go back.
All right. So the next one would be Fast 5.
Yes.
I'm going to stop on years. I can't do it
Okay.
anymore.
2011, Fast 5.
Okay. Thank you. Fast and Furious, 6.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
That's the whole title?
Yes.
Fast and Furious 6.
Yes.
Yes. It's like fast. There's no does.
I remember that. I was just like, that's lazy, but yeah, go ahead. If you're gonna have 9 movies, you gotta switch it up somehow.
You can go back to 4.
Yeah, let's go back to 4. I don't know. Fast 4?
Fast and Furious.
Man.
So,
Great. Okay. Well, that helps me. So 7.
and they changed. They got rid of the and even. They just put the and sign.
As long as it's different.
Yeah.
Fast 7?
No.
Furious.
Yes. 7.
Furious 7. It's the one with only one word.
Yeah. This is awesome.
Fate of the Furious.
Yes.
Fast 8, but it's not called Fast 8, just Fate of the Furious. And then this next one, I don't know. Is it Fast 9?
Right now, it's just called
F9.
F9.
like a tornado.
It's a badass tornado.
It's bigger than, I think the scale is only like a 6,
yeah,
right? On
yeah.
the Richter scale?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5.
No,
I
that's
think
an
F5.
earthquake.
5.
Is
F5.
Richter?
F5's the biggest one in Twister,
Okay.
but I'm sure there's worse now.
Well, and then we can't forget, of course, Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, that wasn't even on my little list.
And that comes in
shit.
between 8 and 9.
Yeah.
So more to come on those. Fast and the Furious for sure. I love them so much. And if you got to watch How Did This Get Made, because they talk about all of it. They talk about the contracts with the characters. None of them can lose in a fight.
I love that. I love that.
And the egos you're dealing with.
Oh, Vin Diesel's out there, man.
Oh my gosh, it's all so funny. Like everything with like you see Tyrese getting up in arms about it. Whoever plays
The Rock.
Tyrese.
Didn't him and The Rock?
The
get
Rock.
into it?
Well, the Rock and Vin is the big one, because basically without all the BS that's in the Fast and Furious movies, Hobbs and Shaw is just The Rock and Jason Statham having a lot of fun.
Right.
So more to come on that one. And that's our what you watching section. So I'm really glad we do that. That really gives us some good stuff to talk about. Keeps you fresh on what's out there. Let us know what you're watching. Let us know at mostlysuperheroes.com. We want to hear about it, and we want to talk about it. Next up, you guys ready?
News and rumors.
Wow. Rockin'.
News and rumors.
I just want to know how many. I wish I could have seen you like recording these. How many times you said news and rumors
I got some outtakes.
so you got it right?
I don't have them ready for today, but
That's awesome.
I was just saying everything that came to my mind, and I said some weird shit. All right, so we got a lot of news and rumors today. I just want to preface with this. It's a lot of stuff about delays. It's a lot of negative stuff, but there's also some exciting stuff. There's also just a lot of stuff I want to kind of move through a lot of this because I want to focus on some content that's like actually getting ready to happen. And we've been teasing it out this episode, The Mandalorian. We're going to talk about it. That's a show that's coming around the corner. So we're going to talk about this news. We're going to address it because I care about you, the fans. I want to stay relevant. Whenever I drop weekly episodes like I do, it's actually a huge advantage of not like backlogging tons of episodes. You're getting some fresh content. So hopefully if you're listening today, whatever I told you happened within the last week or so. So with that, some news and rumors. We got a video too I'm going to play. So this is, I mean, it's not funny. I mean, it's funny, like the headline's funny, like if it was in a movie, but it's not really funny. Someone attacked Rick Moranis.
Rude.
And it's just,
Did you see the video?
yeah, like why? Like why?
Actually, I haven't seen the video. I
Oh,
saw,
I'm
like,
excited
the guy
for you.
walking up, but I didn't see him the actual attack.
So I do have the
I didn't
video.
know if it was on tape.
I have the video. All I did was I took the news story from ABC 7 in New York, and we're just gonna watch they have like a 2-minute video here. We don't have to watch the whole thing.
The 80s with movies like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and the blockbuster Ghostbusters. And now Rick Moranis back in the limelight for a very different reason. NYPD says he was violently attacked Thursday morning next to his building on Central Park West and West 70th Street. It was random. Surveillance video shows the assault. A man walking by out of nowhere. Sucker punch.
Old.
Maybe. Where's this thing at? Yeah, well, I'll definitely cut this out. Definitely want you guys to hear it. Well, I guess you don't really have to. Here it is.
There it is.
Okay, so here's the guy. Yeah, look. So yeah, we don't even need the audio. So the video here, it shows, you can see this on YouTube. This guy with the I Love New York hoodie on. I mean, in the video, you see it plain as day. Ran up, punched him, walks off. Here's Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis, or someone speaking. Rick Moranis was assaulted on the Upper West Side yesterday. He is fine, but grateful for everyone's thoughts and well wishes. There's the video again.
Yeah, and
Chris Evans tweeted, "My blood is boiling. Find this man. You don't touch Rick Moranis." Which,
Yeah, what could Rick Moranis possibly do to upset anyone?
I mean, he was wearing a mask, but he's one of the nose people. He had it below
Oh,
the
the
nose.
guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Rick Moranis is like one of those guys in Hollywood who literally is one of the nicest people. Like,
I don't know much about him other than obviously, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
So he, I pulled it up just to double check. My dad told me this story when I was growing up. That's a callback from a episode ago.
From episode
But
10, I think.
this is the blurb about it. In 1997, he took a hiatus from working in the film industry. He explained, "I'm a single parent. And I just found that it was too difficult to manage to raise my kids and do traveling involved in making movies. So I took a little bit of a break, and then the little break turned into a longer break, and then I found I really didn't miss it."
Wow.
He, I think his wife, his wife passed away in February of 1991.
Oh,
So
I didn't know
he
that.
took a break to raise his kids because his wife passed away.
It's like Garth Brooks. He did the same thing, right? He like took off for 20 years to go be with his family.
I know, but his wife didn't die. Trisha Yearwood's
Well,
still
I didn't
alive.
mean all of it. I guess he did leave because of his wife. Is what it sounds
I
like?
think
Man,
so, yeah.
it's sad. I mean, obviously he just seems like the nicest guy. He was just in an advertisement recently.
Yeah, he's starting to come back a little bit. Too.
He was in with Ryan Reynolds for
Mint Mobile.
Mint Mobile. Yeah,
All even
That's a-
more
that's a-
reasons why to hate this person that punched him for no reason.
for no reason. Remember Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Yeah. and then
Ghostbusters 2.
Little Giants.
Honey, I Blew Up the Kid?
That was when I went to
And like Reno.
yeah, but when I went to Disney World when I was little, that was one of like the 3D attractions.
Honey, I Blew Up the Kid?
Yeah, like one of those.
That's so funny.
I think I might have seen that.
Or
too.
Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. It's Honey, I Shrunk the Audience that was the thing in
And so you got
Disney
to
World.
experience like bigger
Yeah.
things.
No, you actually got shrunk.
I mean, I think it's just
You paid enough money to go to Disney World.
I
you're
didn't
gonna get
read
Yeah,
a
really.
ton on the story. I watched a couple of those. It's hard for me to tell like obviously Rick Moranis did nothing to deserve it, but like was this a random act of rage or did the guy attack him because he is Rick Moranis?
True.
Like did he see him and go, "Rick Moranis, I've been waiting. I've been waiting 20 years since Honey I Shrunk the Kids." It's like, ants don't look like that.
in that yard so bad when I was little.
You know what was a flaw for Rick Moranis? Well, whoever his character is in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the flaw like that led to everything. You don't leave an unattended shrink ray machine, which is bad enough. You don't leave it pointing at the door where the attic is, where everybody walks in.
True.
Because it was just lighting people up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You walk in, you shrink. Well, Rick Moranis, our hearts go out to you. We love you. People out there, take a chill. Take a chill pill.
Yeah.
We're all feeling it, but you can't just walk around punching people, especially Rick Moranis. Come on.
Now his face is
Agreed.
plastered.
Are you serious?
No, the guy that punched him, his face is plastered everywhere. I didn't mean Rick Moranis.
I thought you meant like he
Like
had
he
to
had
have
a-
plastic surgery.
Yeah,
No.
same.
No,
I was
that
like,
guy's face is
Rick.
that guy's life is probably over. There's a lot of Rick Moranis fans.
That's true.
There are
He was-
dozens
like they got a
of
good
us.
photo of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause
get well soon,
I
Rick.
haven't seen that photo yet, but that was
get well soon, and if you're up to it, come on back to movies and TV. We'd love to have you.
last movie he was in. He voiced Brother Bear in 2006.
I want to see Honey, I Killed the Kids.
Oh gosh.
Just kidding. That's Star Wars Episode 3. All right, some delays. Again, not going to harp on how negative all this is. We get it. I didn't even list the dates this time because I didn't want to just be reading off dates.
Yeah.
We all know everything's pushed back. Running through real quick, DC. This is from Games Radar. The Batman, which is not. I don't like how they group these together. The Batman got delayed. How long?
Long time.
Long time.
22 somewhere.
Yeah.
March 2022.
All the DC
From October,
all
November
the DC
of
stuff.
21.
All the DC stuff.
Dune got delayed and took its
Wonder
spot,
Woman
basically.
still is holding tight for Christmas Day. It says. This is 1 day old, I believe. It was 7 hours ago when I pulled it. This was today. Dune, big trailer just dropped recently. I actually just borrowed the book from our friend Luke. I've never read it, and it just looks amazing. I'm very excited for it. It's pushed back. It got pushed back from
It got pushed back to the Batman date, I believe, and then the Batman had to move.
the saddest thing about all this is, listen to this. The Flash is delayed to November 2022, just a few months from June. But then they're talking about Shazam sequel, Fury of the Gods, June 2023. What are we talking
That's
about?
like 5 years after the original, which is insane.
And this is the ongoing theme right now. Is there's just like a lot of news right now, but unfortunately, it's just like.
Yeah, it's just negative
And it's to keep people like at bay and to keep like even probably like shareholders and companies. You got to start making like we're working hard, like which like not to say you're not, but I feel like they got to turn some news out.
Yeah,
So I take all the news I see with a little grain of salt because I'm about to talk about some all over the board Marvel news, but I have to take it with a grain of salt because it's like, well, there's no movies coming out.
And I know it's Hollywood and they have all these diets and things to keep you looking young, but 5 years after a movie, 5 years from now, I'm going to look old. Okay. I know it's Hollywood. That's different, but these actors do age. And so, for instance, Batman, he's in year 2 of crime fighting. If they do a sequel to The Batman, he's not going to look like year 3 Batman. He's going to look like year 10 Batman.
Yeah, and then
I mean, there's going to be a time where this kind of catches up with everybody.
yeah, you're absolutely right. Like these like people age.
They're not immortal. I mean, Brad Pitt might be, but
Yeah, there's a few out there that The Rock
Damn
might
right.
be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we
DC, Dune. Oh, and then there was a silver lining here of one movie that might prevail. The Matrix 4 is still holding on to its whatever date that it's set for, which is I don't have it here at the bottom here, but if you're following the Matrix 4 news, they're not pushed back yet. They're still on track.
and I think the Matrix trilogy just got uploaded to a streaming service, I want to say.
I bet so in preparation. Even though sometimes they pull it down. Like I feel like that's what Jurassic Park does. You can't find it anywhere.
It's
So.
right here.
Yeah, right.
VHS.
It's right
It's
here.
not going
It's in our
anywhere.
it's VHS collection.
That was my vote. I think we need to get a sound like a negative soundboard, like for whenever there's there you go, for whenever there's delays.
Yeah,
I was
said,
gonna
didn't-
suggest like a fart noise, but that works too.
You talking about one of those?
Yep.
That's so good.
Thank you.
So that's how we feel about definitely our delays.
HBO Max, I think, has The Matrix.
has The Matrix. Definitely go check those out. I am very excited for The Matrix 4. I don't want to brush over that too quickly. You know that we love DC stuff on this podcast. I don't want you to be a first-time listener and think we don't talk about this stuff. We do, but we've been just talking about a lot of delays, lately. And until there's some like real new, tangible news, we're gonna kind of just keep an eye on things. Speaking of which, I coined this myself. Someone had already done it a long time ago. The Marvelverse is what I'm kind of referring to this as now. And the reason is the MCU is the MCU with like Tony Stark and the Avengers, Captain America. Then you have Marvel that also lives within Sony that owns Spider-Man, Venom, Morbius. Well, now all this news you're getting about now is a melting pot of these things that normally weren't in the same playing field. So first up, just some MCU news. Big delay for Black Widow. No, I'm just kidding.
People would almost be disappointed if it wasn't delayed again.
Yeah, I mean, Andy and I talked about this over the weekend, and it's a statement, like they had pushed it back how many times, and then it was like, well, you put it on Disney Plus. What are you gonna do? Well, now it's May or November, 2021.
Get your tickets now.
Yeah.
Then I get this. That was from The Verge. This is from Cosmic Book News. Emily Blunt rumored to be Black Widow for Doctor Strange 2.
So
cool.
ScarJo's out?
Well, again, it's a multiverse movie.
Oh, okay.
So it could be a different Earth.
Yeah.
But also, like,
Gotta
Emily
be.
Blunt's like rumored to play the Invisible Woman with John Krasinski on Fantastic Four one day. Because they're eventually going to make that Fantastic Four movie that we deserve because they haven't made one yet. It's cool, but it's also like, again,
Oh yeah, they're married, aren't they?
Yeah.
they're married.
That'd be great.
Power couple. Then we heard this week Jamie Foxx is going to be in the next MCU Spider-Man flick, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, reprising his role, but as a different version of this role. This is from Games Radar of Electro, which, Andy, you just watched Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is where he's featured. And just not to breeze over that because I want to talk about it, but same universe. Live-action Spider-Verse in the talks, and I already saw like a headline as we were getting ready to record. Not a headline, I think it was more just gossip, but that there are talks of bringing in, of course, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and then Tom Holland to do something maybe in line with Into the Spider-Verse 2, which is from, again, Sony. It's a Sony world. But with this multiverse, all of these things on the screen are just showing us that anything can really happen. And especially since we've seen how it works with Sony's Tom Holland Spider-Man in these movies, they make it happen even though they like to make us think it's not going to happen every year or so. Mm-hmm. Exciting because with this Jamie Foxx character, I think they could be, and I'm taking some of this from what I've heard on some recent shows. Brandon Davis talked about this a little bit from comicbook.com. Chris Killian as well. A few others. Another podcast I listened to, Jock and the Nerd. I don't know if you guys ever listened to them. They're one I listened to a long time. They've all kind of theorized what's going on. So I'm pulling from a bit of all of those guys, all those channels. And the idea here is, it is exciting because they could start doing like a Sinister Six setup. They got Jamie Foxx, they got the Venom, they got Morbius. They teased out Spider-Man in the Morbius trailer with like being on a wall where it was like painted murderer. More beer. You can tell what I'm thinking about. And then they also have Michael Keaton's Vulture, who is in the Morbius trailer, which that's MCU and Sony again.
In the post-credit scene, there was the Scorpion guy. He was what was that? The post-credit scene for Spider-Man Homecoming, I think. Whenever he was going into jail, the Vulture, Michael Keaton's character, he talked to that guy that was rumored to be playing the Scorpion. I can't remember.
That was him.
He was in Breaking Bad.
That's what they were setting up there, Scorpion?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I just thought it was some...
Because he has like a scorpion tattoo on, I think on his hand or something like that, or maybe it was on his face. I can't remember.
Because I heard you know who Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So those two, and then there was that... I don't know. I'm sure there's many versions of who the actual Sinister Six are. Like, there's more than six potential people it could be. I mean, I would love for that to happen. And I've heard
I agree.
a lot of rumors about, like, I mean, it's kind of a tangent, but like Spider-Man versus Venom or them together.
Yeah, I can throw that up.
Oh yeah,
Throw that image up of the end credit scene with Vulture and the potential Scorpion. He's in a lot of stuff too. He's in
Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
I said Breaking Bad, but he probably was in that too.
So yeah, again, don't want to breeze over it, but it's exciting. But again, it's like, I don't know. For me, it's like there's a lot of news happening, and we know that there are delays. So not that any of this couldn't happen, but to your point, Mike, like how things are so far out and things are moving around. We'll see what actually happens. Now, is it fun to theorize about and talk about? I mean, all day. We'll do this all day.
For sure.
All right. Let's see here. Okay, so before we move on to the last piece, like the big chunk of the episode, which we'll talk about in a minute, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come right back. We're back. All right, guys. I didn't want to hope it didn't seem like we brushed over the Spider-Man news. But we are excited to see what happens with these MCU Sony crossovers. Basically, the takeaway is any X-Men any Sony character any Marvel character that exists pretty much in live-action universe now can essentially play in the same sandbox, and whether they come from being in the multiverse movie of Doctor Strange 2, or they come from another film that's out there, or they come from like mutants maybe getting developed from, spoiler alert for Avengers Endgame, from that big snap that happens. There's a lot of gamma radiation that like circled the Earth. We know that. That's a theory. So there's all to say. We're talking about Jamie Foxx Spider-Man, live action Spider-Man with Tom Holland, all these guys. I mean, you hear rumors about Emily Blunt being a Black Widow. This is cool. So that's the takeaway. I didn't want to seem like we breezed over it at all, because we love us some Spider-Man, and anything Spider-Man gets us excited.
No doubt.
That being said, it's time for our next section.
The meat.
That was aggressive.
And yeah, Andy, you were asking like, what's the meat? Well, this is just something that I always say every time I'm telling a story. Like, let's get to the meat of it. Let's get to that bacon.
Hell yeah.
Let's cut into the sirloin of whatever we're gonna talk about.
You notice like we didn't jump in. We just wanted you to keep going.
Like, what else has he got?
Yeah, like getting that fat.
Well, I was trying out some when I recorded it too. I might put some exclusive content on Patreon of my outtakes of all the ones you've heard today. So here you heard the fun ones,
The meat.
That's cool. But there's ones of me going like, pass the eggs.
No, there's not.
There's so many.
Why?
Because I go, don't think about it, just get in there. And I just started.
Oh my god.
I said some weird stuff. I ended up saying like real weird stuff, and I go, that's enough.
Slurpees for free.
Seriously, as random as that. So yeah, watch for that on our Patreon channel. We have exclusive content on there, soon, like on the regular, basically.
Hell yeah.
So the meat of the episode today, I'm very excited to talk about. Like we said, we didn't want to breeze over the news. It's important. It always is. But news is weird right now. It takes a long time for big news to come out. We want to talk about something that's coming around the corner. And it might seem like we're a Star Wars focused podcast, but the truth is, if you got content out right now, we're talking about it. Think about the What You Watching section we did today. We talked about so many genres.
Comedy, true crime.
Exactly. We cover it all.
Weird.
Cover it all. So, all to be said, I want to talk about The Mandalorian. And it's going to be an interesting try, but we're going to try to retell this season 1 real quick. I think it'll go a lot quicker than we think. The biggest thing I know that I'm going to screw up are the names.
I'm going to try to help. I think it's going to be a team effort.
You got the computer.
You recently just rewatched the whole thing.
So Carrie and I watched it over the weekend. Just so you know, it's only 8 episodes, and it's only like 40 minutes. They left you wanting so much more.
Yep. It's going to be rough when we really have to do that weight again. But
so to help us, we're not going to do there wasn't really a story gallery like we did for Only Hope. If you want to see a a retell of that. Basically, I didn't know I was going to retell it, but that's ended up being what we did, and we had a lot of laughs.
Dude, I laughed watching it.
When we talked about Luke Skywalker's uncle. Me and Carrie just kept watching that part.
Yeah.
And that's over on episode 12 right now. So you should go check that out. It's the last chunk of the episode and what we call the meat around here.
The meat.
You would have been a great 90s, early 2000s rock DJ.
Oh yeah, like those all the hits.
That's
You
perfect.
guys wanted it. You guys got it. Here is System of a Down.
And all the commentary.
K-Rock.
You know them as partying in L.A. with their friends. I know them as my friends because they were here last week. In sync. They always name dropping everybody. I love that about DJs. They're like, dude. Oh, well, we should while we're talking music, we should just give a quick nod real quick because it happened today.
Eddie Van Halen passed away.
Eddie Van Halen passed today, and I'm not like a super fan or anything, won't pretend to be, but I know him through friends and generations a little bit older than me that always really loved him, our parents. Do you have more connection, Mike?
I never got to see Van Halen live. I kind of pride myself on concerts. I love classic rock, but just kind of listening on the way over here, KC95, our local station in St. Louis, did a great kind of tribute of Eddie Van Halen, and I've been checking my socials and stuff, and Sammy Hagar has reached out because he used to be in Van Halen.
Van Hagar.
And just, if you go back, that music's timeless, and it's really cool to listen to. And all the stories and stuff that are going to come out these next couple of days are going to be awesome. But, he's a guitar god. He's a guitar legend, and top 20 probably guitarist of all time. Their music's never going to go away. It's never going to die. I think Casey said the last time they toured as Van Halen was 2015. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
But Eddie Van Halen, only 65 years old.
I saw that and died of cancer.
Yeah, had multiple complications
Wow.
with cancer. I saw. So
I didn't know
rest
that.
in peace, Eddie Van Halen. I'm sure we'll be listening to a lot of Van Halen these next couple weeks, kind of remembering all that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To Van Halen. Andy, were you a fan? Or are you a fan? Or?
Yeah, I guess so.
But-
I'm not really good at oldies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guarantee I've listened to thousands of their songs, but I
Mhm.
don't know. I can't specifically say.
I feel like I'm like that all the
That's how
time.
I am with,
Naming
a lot of oldies.
songs is the hardest thing, I feel like,
Yeah.
sometimes. On the spot, especially. But yeah, kudos. I was on a call today when that happened, and definitely felt. I was like, whoa, it was just one of those, one where you take notice.
Yeah.
All right, well, without further ado, let's talk about The Mandalorian and see if we can do this. All I have up is the Star Wars website and just the single image from each episode. So we're only working with 10 here. Thankfully, like I said, I just watched it, so hopefully I can get us through it. Mike's got his computer and will help us with the names, and in the meantime, I'll help describe characters.
I'll do some stuff too, hopefully.
Hope I don't offend anybody, because I'm going to have to describe people.
So this guy.
Okay, so just setting up the show a little bit. We won't get too much into it, but this came out 2 years ago, a year ago, 1 year ago?
November 12th, 2019.
I didn't know anything about it when I saw the trailer for it. All I knew was, oh, that's the same outfit as Boba Fett.
Same.
Boba Fett is a bounty hunter, and he's definitely in Empire Strikes Back.
Yes,
and then
but
that's it, right?
he's
And then he's in the beginning of Return of the Jedi.
But he's one of those characters you think he's in a
Believe.
lot more than what he actually is in it.
The fact that I even know his name,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
Star Wars names are a little tricky. We talked about this on episode 12. So I knew nothing about it. First time around was a big discovery of what is this show? Holy cow, this is so cool. And it was a lot to take in. They drop you in 5 years after the Empire has fallen in Return of the Jedi. I'm going to say it. Spoiler alert for Return of the Jedi. But it's been out now for 30 plus years.
It's 1983, I think it came out.
I act like people are griping already. No one's griping. But I still don't want to. I know what spoilers are like. If you're a person out there who's going to watch them.
Is this guy going to ruin this?
Is he going to ruin Star Wars? This is the guy that's going to ruin Star Wars.
I've been watching them in not the release order,
Chronological.
chronological, and I'm almost done.
Can you imagine starting the Star Wars saga with the prequels, having no previous knowledge of any of the movies,
Oh,
and sitting
God.
through the first one going, what's going on?
And then the second one, you're like, really? What's going on?
And then the third one, you go, wow.
What a turn.
What a turn. I love that third one. That's one that I can't watch a lot.
Yeah, the third one is good.
Yeah.
Episode 3.
The first one I'll watch a lot out of like nostalgia because that was like that movie was awesome when it came out, but like it definitely gets worse as I become an adult.
Those first two. Ugh. So they drop you into this show that's going to happen on Disney Plus. It's directed by Jon Favreau. I don't know if I could say anyone that I'm sorry.
It's not directed by him, it's written by.
Oh, I thought I said written. I meant written. So written by Jon Favreau. Any other names you can throw out there, Mike?
So it's directed, each one of these episodes is directed really by somebody different each time.
I just saw something about that for season 2, and Jon Favreau got like 6 out of 8 or something.
Dave Filoni?
That might be. Yeah, okay. All right.
Bryce Dallas Howard directs one.
Wow.
And then, I'm going to butcher this
You know we're going to
name.
get her in season 2 at some
I'm
point.
going to butcher this name, but
That'd be cool.
the
Taika Waititi?
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi, of course.
It directed the last one.
And Taika Waititi is, of course, involved with some MCU stuff. Fantastic. And with those names attached, you know you're in for some good stuff. Well, I just watched this again for the second time on Sunday, and I can tell you right now, the second time through, very helpful. So let's just dive in. Let's see how far we can get, and we're going to try to retell this and see how much we take away. Let us know how we do. If we butcher it, I apologize to all you diehard Mandalorian fans out there, but I can tell you right now, we love this show. So chapter 1, again, drops you in 5 years. The Empire's fallen. So I like to look at this through the lens of what I know. Like, again, Luke Skywalker and his team, Han Solo, Princess Leia, defeated the Empire. Darth Vader is dead. Darth Sidious is presumably dead. That was wild.
Yeah.
Let's get into the future movies. Spoiler alert. Again, if you're a Star Wars super fan, you're
You
good.
said presumably.
And also, you should know moving forward that this is connected in the world of Star Wars, so I have to talk about bigger stuff.
Yes.
So if you're not trying to learn stuff about Star Wars movies, come back and see us. But don't leave, get that listen.
Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, just let it play
Like-
through. Let it play through.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, perfect. Drop you into a bounty hunter known as the Mandalorian. Guy full of mystery, but we learn very quickly what Mandalorians are. They are a group of people that wear the helmets, the iconic helmets that Boba Fett wore, and they're part of this creed, we find out, which is like a big deal toward the end, it seems like. It's a creed of people. It's not a race. And the whole idea is they can't ever take off this helmet, ever, in front of anyone. From the time they're sworn in, most are born into this. We find out that this one later on, I don't think it's a major spoiler, it helps with the storytelling. He was not born into it. He was found at a young age, and you start getting flashbacks of this character. We don't know his name. We don't know who he is. We don't know if he's a Star Wars character we know. We don't know if it's somebody that's going to be alive in the future movies. And basically, he is kind of working outside of these Mandalorians. They kind of do this thing. They protect and serve. They help like build communities up. I think they can be for hire. He works within what is known as the Guild. And the Guild is a group of bounty hunters that work for miscellaneous people like in government, but primarily who he's working for is individuals of the now fallen Empire, which was ran by Darth Vader and all the stormtroopers. How am I doing so far?
Good.
That's what we get dropped into. It's been 5 years. And we don't know anything about this guy. This is why the show is good. We don't know anything about this guy. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? He obviously gets hired for the Federation. But as he's getting pushed in this episode by these people in power that are in power, he starts realizing, I have a choice to be kind of maybe something else for the first time. Or since maybe the last time he thought about it. Again, we don't know anything about him. How long's he been on this blood trail? Because, I mean, he's a bounty hunter. And we see him, like, whip the shit out of some people early days in this episode. So he gets introduced to this mysterious client through a contact in the guild, played by Carl Weathers.
Grief Karga.
I would have never got that.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to. It's,
Good job. Grief Karga, played by the great Carl Weathers. He's a recurring character in the show. So great. He like fits in this world. It just feels right.
but then, like when I'm first watching it, like, is that Lando?
It was
Yeah.
It was, of course,
Yeah.
because they do. I mean,
They are
outside of just being African Americans, they look similar.
They're the same guy.
They are?
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams. No, this is Carl Weathers.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. It's not just because they're African American. They also look similar. They're like,
They
like,
do. I'm
like
gonna
what's
pull up
the
a side
age?
by
Yeah,
side.
I think I
Might get a side by side here. Carl Weathers and Billy. What's his name?
Billy D. Williams.
And Billy D. Williams plays Lando Calrissian in the movies. I thought the same thing when I watched this for the first time, Mike, just so you know.
that's hilarious.
I know.
I mean,
I knew it would be made already, just like Mark Sanchez.
I mean, they both
and
have
Superman.
they have a mustache and
yeah,
everything.
yeah. I really legit. This is.
You
like,
thought
I thought it was the same guy.
You thought Lando was in this show.
Yeah, and I was like, this is really
No.
confusing.
No. Okay, so what's his name actually? Carl Weathers?
Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed
Yeah, well, he played Apollo Creed in.
in Rockies, but same actor. I'm trying to
Same
get
actor.
visuals. Dang it!
All right, that's good. All right, so he is this contact in the guild, and he says, I have a job for you. And the Mandalorian's like, I've been doing jobs. Like, how much money do you have? He's like, I have an under-the-table job that'll pay you more than you've ever made in your life. And he says, okay, I'm all about it. Like, at this point, he's like the best in the biz. Mandalorian is like the best Mandalorian I think that there like exists. He's like, they tout his attributes. They're like, you're really good. They talk about it a lot in episode 1 of like, you're a legend around here. He's like, all these jobs are too easy. So he gets this secret job. Secret job ends up being for, because we're all need another name, Mike, giving you a heads up. The contact that he gets hired from, the guy that hires him to go on this job, it's a guy that works for the Fallen Empire.
Dr. Pershing.
Doctor?
I think so.
Is it like an older white guy?
While
Is
the
that guy right there?
This guy right
it
here.
says while the
This guy.
why the client is indifferent to the target's well-being, his colleague Dr. Pershing insists that the target be brought back alive.
So the Dr. Pershing is like the right-hand man to this older guy, which I don't know this older guy's name in the show. Yeah, try to look that up. So he's the guy that works. He's the guy that's talking to the Mandalorian and says, I know you're the best, and I want you to go find this individual. I can tell you around where he is, last known location, and I can tell you his age.
I think they just call him the client.
It does say client in the
Yeah,
In
I
here
think they
too.
just call him the client.
They probably use a name at some point in the show, but either way. So this guy's the guy working for again, the Empire's fallen, but like people are still doing shit. Like this guy's still got he's got like a posse of like 8 stormtroopers, and he's like, what's up, Mandalorian? Go get this kid for me. He doesn't say it's a kid. Go get this guy for me. He's 50 years old. This is where he is. Mandalorian's like, all right, well, how much? It's a lot. And it's in Federation money. And he goes, I'll pay you 1 now. I'll pay you the rest when you get back. Mando says, all right. He goes back in episode 1. He goes back to his Mandalorian place of like where they all live in this town. I don't know what planet they're on. I thought Tatooine.
So the payment that he gives him, I think it's Beskar steel. It's called
Beskar steel.
And
It's like the toughest steel.
Yeah, it's. I think it's very sacred to them too.
Yeah, and it has a label on it on who it's from. So it's like, this is Federation money. This is Empire money. And he takes it and he melts it down and he creates like a shoulder piece for his suit. So in addition to his helmet, he's got the shoulder piece. And you're like, oh, this guy's trying to build himself a big silver suit.
Fancy boy.
Exactly. Because his helmet's cool as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's why the character's like. I immediately was like, I'm gonna watch this show because it's. I mean, he looks like Iron Man almost, but
Grabs you
got the
immediately.
jetpack, sweet helmet, cape.
Just a badass.
Yeah, just there's no reason. Like I was in it from the start. I didn't even remember him doing much in the movies, but carry on.
So I totally agree, by the way. That's what grabbed me too.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so that's episode 1. Episode 2, this is where he's like, all right, I'm going to go try to find this thing. What else happened in
You
episode
missed
1?
one big thing.
Go ahead.
Entering the remote and heavily defended encampment, the Mandalorian reluctantly teams up with a bounty droid.
Oh, yeah.
IG-11.
IG-11. So this is a big plot point. So this is whenever he is so does he get this is where I get confused about episodes. And maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter what episode it is. But like what I was remembering, does he get the kid, Baby Yoda, of course, the inevitable Baby Yoda? Is that at the end of episode 1?
Yep,
Okay.
child of Yoda's
Okay.
species.
All right. Well, then yeah, good. Thank you. This is a good way to do this. So he, at the end of episode 1, goes to the place on Tatooine. That's where he goes to Tatooine. And if you don't know, Tatooine is where Luke Skywalker grew up. And he ends up going out across this land. He gets help from a short orange creature that's like used to work for the Federation. He's now retired, but he's like a really good guy. And his classic saying in the show is, "I have spoken." Does that guy have a name there?
I don't have a name there.
Okay.
That might happen more in episode 2.
I know he is for sure in episode 2, but I thought he teamed up with him to help him get to this place
Well, I
where
think
no one's ever returned from.
Yeah. IG-11, a child of Yoda's, when IG-11 attempts to kill the infant,
Okay, so he didn't meet the orange
Yeah.
guy until episode 2. So
per orders, that's when he makes that decision.
so he goes to this big bunker, this big area where they're keeping this person, and he's out there looking. And he gets there. There's this killer droid there, and the droid's like shooting. The droid's awesome. He's like spinning around with his guns, shooting over his head. We learn right away Mandalorian despises droids since he was a kid. You get some flashbacks of like a war zone.
Is it this Queel guy? That guy?
Quill.
So, yeah.
Quill. Yeah, so I guess that's not till episode 2. Got ahead of myself.
Okay.
So then the droid says they find Baby Yoda at the end. They killed 50 people at least. And Baby Yoda thing opens up. We see for the first time a little Baby Yoda. So cool. Oh. Yeah. I need reminders for sure. I forgot about the soundboard.
Woo!
That Baby Yoda, dude. So keep in mind, old Yoda is long dead.
Sure
Right?
is. Yeah.
He died at the end of Empire, so it's been 5 years. Or he died in one of the second or the third original movie.
But
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
really how many years old? Like 800 and something years
So old.
Yeah.
So old. So you're like, where'd this come from? And is this like Yoda's kid? Is this Yoda's friend? Are they even related? Are they have anything? Do they have nothing to do with each other or everything to do with each other? Says I'm gonna go for it. So then the next episode
So the reason he meets up with this gentleman, I think,
it's for help because his
when he-
ship.
Yep.
He gets back to his ship and it's been raided. Well, stripped by
The
Tusken-
Jawas.
the Jawas from Only Hope. These are like the sand creatures we talked about in Only Hope. And his whole ship's has been stripped apart. There's this big epic scene where he chases it down, climbs up to the top. You think he's gonna make it, and they zap him, and he gets he doesn't catch him. Well, then this guy who lives on Tatooine, Quill, he says, "I'm gonna help you because ever since these people have gotten to my land, there hasn't been any peace. So I'm gonna help you so that you help me," type of thing. And once he enlists the help of him, the Quill helps him negotiate a deal with the, what are they called again? Jawas?
Jawas.
And so we get a really fun sequence of scenes of these two, the Mandalorian and Quill, riding around in the big junkyard thing.
In the sand crawler.
In the sand crawler. And they say, he's like, "Listen, you stole my parts. I want them back." They said, "Give us that Baby Yoda." And he's like, "No." And then they're like, "Give me your helmet." And he's like, "I can't. It's religion." And then they said, "Go get us the egg." And he says, "What egg?" And then he says, then obviously we cut forward to him going to some cave to find an egg where he finds a giant beast with a rhino horn, and this thing beats the shit out of him, up and down.
Look like a Pokemon almost.
I mean, he is like getting hurt. Well, at the very last moment, the final thing, he's lost all his weapons. He has a knife in his hand, and the rhino's coming at him. It's like the last 2 minutes episode, and you're like, this is gonna be a short season.
Glad I really invested this.
6 episodes left. Baby Yoda uses the Force and holds this thing up, and he's like,
You're almost as cute as the real one.
and he like passes out.
You need that face just up on the screen as people watch it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, so right away we know what's going on. Mandalorian doesn't know. So episode 3, it's time to bring this baby back to Darth Vader general guy. Like, you know, this
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Ribs.
This is the meat.
This is the meat.
The meat.
it's only episode 3. We got to get moving.
So yeah, he takes him back, and do you know how many bars he gets?
I'm going to guess 32.
Very specific. Andy?
20.
20 is right.
Wow.
Ding, ding, ding.
There you go, Andy. That's pretty good. And he gives him the baby. This is a big part right here. So he gets the money in this like cool briefcase. He's like, "Thank you, Mandalorian. Let's get out of here." Like he has this weird accent. And the Mandalorian goes, "What are you gonna do with it?" And the guy's like, "You're not supposed to ask about that. I already gave you your money."
You have a little code here, guy.
So he takes his 20 Imperial Beskar steel plates back to Mandalorian town and gets a whole suit that we've seen in the trailer, on the poster, the epic, brilliant silver suit. He goes to his ship. It's at the end. No, there's one more.
Keep going. I'm like doing
okay.
the face like he's like.
So, well, a couple things happen first before he goes to his ship. He goes and talks to his friend, Carl Weathers.
Reef Karga.
And Reef Karga's like, "We're rich." He's like, "You're rich, I'm rich." He's like, "Everybody here hates you." And he goes, he's like, "Take a vacation." And he's like, "Give me the next job." He's like, "All right, Mandalorian, you want to keep killing." Gives him a thing. He goes to his ship, flips it all on. And this is the moment where he says, "No, I'm going to take this kid back because I don't know what these people were up to. And as a matter of fact, I guess I care." Really fucking good, by the way.
For sure.
Goosebumps. So then he goes back to the thing, kills stormtroopers. Bing, bang, boom. Bing, bang, boom.
Pew, pew, pew,
Pew, pew, pew. Finds the
Pew, pew.
doctor. Oh.
He chooses not to kill
The-
the doctor.
Chooses not to kill the doctor because the doctor seemed to have the kid's best interest at heart. Dr. whatever.
Pershing.
Dr. Pershing. Gets him out of there.
I'm not an expert on this. I'm reading. I'm
It's
just
no,
checking
you.
Logan.
I'm glad that you have the computer. It's perfect. And he runs out. This is the climax of the episode 3, and now all of the guild has come and said, "You're not taking that kid. You broke our creed, which is once you get paid for payment, you can't be involved with whatever's happening anymore." And so they're like, either give it to us or we have to kill you because the guild's reputation is at stake, and you can tell they're running like this town. He gets beaten down. Looks like he's going to maybe lose the kid. He has to make a choice to either give him up again or jump in the speeder. He jumps in the speeder, and then thankfully at the last minute, all the Mandalorians show up and save his butt. And you have like this battle scene, and he hops in the ship off to space, and that's how it ends. Remember watching that for the first time?
It's good. Episode 4 opens up. They arrive on a sparsely populated forest planet, Sorgon, and the Mandalorian encounters ex-rebel shock trooper turned mercenary, Cara Dune.
She is from Deadpool, and she played like the badass mutant whenever Wade Wilson is first getting turned in that movie. She's like the chicken
Gina
toothpick.
Carano.
She's great. So he goes to this. What's the planet again? Gorgon. That's like the
Sorgon?
Zorgon. That's like almost like Zordon, like the Power Rangers leader. And yeah, she shows up. She says, "Hey, I'm already here, Mandalorian. Why don't you get off this planet?" Well, as the Mandalorian is going to leave, two villagers approach him and say, "We need your help. There's somebody attacking us all the time." And he's like, "I can't. You can't afford it." Well, then they mention it's out in the middle of nowhere, and he's just trying to be in the middle of nowhere right now because there's a bounty out in his head from every bounty hunter, and also whoever's left of the Empire, because those Empire people are the people that hired him originally. So the whole galaxy is essentially after this guy, with the exception of like the the rebels. And so he goes back to this girl. What's her name again? What's the character's name?
Cara Dune.
Yeah,
Cara Dune, and says, "Hey, I found us a remote location. You want to come hang out? All we gotta do is help these people."
She's not bad looking either. So
Oh, no,
smart
absolutely.
Mandalorian.
Well, yeah, and it seems like they have like something,
Mhm.
For sure.
A little underlying
something,
flirtation.
which is crazy because the guy wears a helmet. I'm like, give me that. Like, what the heck? Give me that helmet. Is that
Yeah,
what
he's
happens?
trying
Everybody's
to-
just like, you look better now. I guess
Just
that is
trying to
true.
see what's underneath that armor.
Everybody is. He gets asked all the time about it. So they do it. Turns out this tribe is being attacked and like bullied by this local Empire fleet of soldiers, and they have with them one of the walkers. Does it give the name? It's like
ATST.
ATST. It's like one of the big walking droids that we've seen like
Yeah.
in the
Mhm.
not the big tall ones, but like the half the size of that shoot like down.
Okay.
Yes, like not on Hoth, but like more of like
Not on Empire, but in
Return of the
Return
Jedi.
of the Jedi in the woods.
In the woods with the what are those little things called?
Jawas?
The
Or Ewoks.
Ewoks.
I didn't have to look that up.
You didn't have to look that one up. So she says, "All right." Well, they end up training this little army. This is where you get some filler episodes, but there's some cool backstories that happen. They end up saving this whole town. The Mandalorian almost like decides to stay with this lady, and he's even gonna maybe leave Baby Yoda there because he's like, look how happy he is. Not a second later, someone shoots a sniper, almost kills him, but they didn't shoot the sniper. Dune, lady, saved the day.
Mhm.
So they pack up again. See you later.
And I would say that's probably my only knock about this series. There felt like there was some like side missions, and you're like, are we adding this?
Yeah, like how much
Yeah.
side mission do you do, and how much do you do of like true?
Yeah, we could do 6 episodes.
But you
I
get,
mean, I wanted the
but
episode.
why the story's so good though is you get some backstory on like he does like yearn for that, I guess.
Yep.
He didn't like murder everybody and like beat up a bunch of kids. Setting the standard real high.
In the Star Wars universe, you are.
Yeah.
That's what defines a villain or a hero in the
Yeah.
Star Wars. It's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
All right, so he leaves again. Chapter 5 is called The Gunslinger.
Great title. Probably the best title.
On a familiar desert planet, the Mandalorian helps a rookie bounty hunter who is in over his head. Fun episode, folks. Because on this planet where they're hiding out this time and they meet this guy, the Mandalorian meets this rookie bounty hunter in the bar from the Star Wars films that we talked about during A New Hope, where we meet Han Solo for the first time.
The cantina.
He's the cantina. He's sitting
Yep.
with his feet up on the same very booth where Han Solo sat.
Toro
That's fan
Calican.
service.
So this is Toro Calican. He says, "Man, please help me out. If you help me out, it's going to get me into the guild." The Mandalorian reluctantly says, "Okay." And the only reason I can fathom of why he did this was for money. And also he did look at it as like a teaching opportunity for this young rookie person. And he, again, this is where the story is good. I get what you're saying. Filler episodes, it's like,
Yeah.
do we need it?
And this
But
is
also we learned that he naturally likes to train people. Like
this is taking place on Tatooine.
this is on Tatooine.
So I know you said it earlier. I'm not. It
No,
didn't
you're right.
Say that.
You're exactly right because this is when they're
Yeah.
in the place and the cantina.
Mhm.
So you're right.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. That's one thing I do with this show is I always think like, oh, this is related to what I know,
Yeah.
and it's not always.
And like I'm on my computer, and Logan's doing a great job. But like I even clicked on one of the towns on here, and it just pulled up a list of towns like where it's mentioned and stuff. It's so hard to follow. Really,
You'd
where
have
they're
to
at.
really,
It literally is a universe
yeah,
of where they are.
planets and different systems.
Yeah.
So the job is to get to reprimand. The actress is Mian Wang.
Something like that. And the character is Fennec Shan.
Fennec Shan, who's played by, I forget her actual name, and she's in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She plays Agent May. So really great to see her in this cast, and she does a fantastic job.
You had her name perfectly.
Thank you.
Well done.
She's this like elite force sniper, like military leader, and they're like, this kid was gonna try to do it. Mandalorian's like, well, we can do it together. They end up doing it. There's really fun scenes, a lot of fun scenes in this episode. Speeders across sand, them taking the speeders and approaching her. She's sniping. They're throwing up blast light bombs at night so she can't see, so they're distracting her. Mandalorian takes like 250 cal or bigger shots to the chest, really proving what this armor can do. They end up catching her. This is where there's a little bit, I called this a little bit of a plot hole because I was like, come on. They only have 2 speeders, so not all 3 of them could ride back. So the Mandalorian's like, I got to go get one of like some animal to ride. You wait here. Why he's gone. She tells him. She being, what's her name again?
Finnick.
Fennec. We'll just call her Fennec.
Sean.
So Fennec tells the rookie
Toro,
the rookie bounty hunter, do you realize who you're with? The whole galaxy's after that guy and the baby. And he remembers, I saw the baby back when we all met and know now the mechanic, short-haired, frizzy-haired lady that helps the Mandalorian in this episode. She's like the local mechanic and kind of helps him out. She's holding the baby. Toro knows about it. We get a real hard look at who Toro is in this episode very quickly. I love this. She tells him this. She's like, cut me loose, let me go. I'll help you take down the Mandalorian. We'll split it. Know what he does instead? Kills her and leaves her. And goes to take on now the Mandalorian. Doesn't make it 30 seconds. There's a whole little thing. Mandalorian gets the upper hand on him. The baby kind of gets dropped. I was like kind of worried. We find out a little bit how durable this thing is. And that's episode 5. And we have 3 to go, so I want to take a quick break.
Real quick.
Yeah. We will wrap up this episode.
The Mandalorian arrives, uses a flare to disorient him, and he does kill.
And he kills him.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a big kills him in the end.
Yep. Killed
All
dead.
right. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the last 3 episodes of Season 1 of The Mandalorian. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're back. And if you're just joining us, like we're on the news, if you're just joining us, I'm not recording all this. We're about to wrap up Season 1 of The Mandalorian on Disney+. Last 3 episodes. We just wrapped up Episode 5. How are we doing so far, fellas? You feel like we're...
For somebody that hasn't seen this in a while, you were doing a great job just by yourself. The names are hard. the places are hard.
Impossible.
Little details are hard. But overall, you're doing a really great job. And we're just here like fact checkers now.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And to get these names right, I feel like is really important. So whoever's listening to this, I want this to be like a good, help you recap it too. All right, so these last 3 episodes are great. Here we go. So we just wrapped up Season 5. He killed the rookie bounty hunter. This episode, instead of hiding out at some planet, he ends up taking his ship to an old station of some kind and meets bigger guy with curly hair. He's in Too Fast, Too Furious. He's the guy that gets the rat on his belly.
Oh God!
With the torch in Too Fast, Too Furious.
That's torture.
So and it's like the leader of this ragtag group of thieves that Mando used to run with.
Ran Malk.
That's the bigger guy.
And I think it's played by Bill Burr.
Well, Bill Burr is also in this little group of this collective, and he's like newer to the group. So he's like, I wasn't here when Mando was here. Bill Burr's great in this episode. Yeah. He's so funny.
Bill Burr's so good.
He nailed it. He's so great. He's so great in Breaking Bad too.
Breaking Bad, and then I think King of Staten Island or whatever, that movie with
Pete Davidson.
Oh yeah, I heard that was great.
Dad.
Yeah.
Or not his stepdad, yeah.
Dating his mom.
Oh, I got to watch that. That might be on the list for the weekend.
It was good.
It
okay.
was decent.
Yeah, Bill.
Sure.
Yeah,
Worth
so
a watch.
let's just get that out of the way. Bill Burr's in this show. You also meet a big red-horned guy that's like really strong. It's their muscle. Berg. You meet a purple woman, like species alien with long.
Is that the knife expert?
She's the knife expert.
Zan. Xian.
Yep, I'll say it. And it seems like her and Mando definitely have a history. Yeah. And you find out right away there's a lot of animosity in the team. Mando left. He really just bailed on us. But they're like, oh, well, welcome back. No questions asked. You know the rules. And then Mando says, okay, can I hide out here for a while? Also work a job for some money, like old times. Leader guy, don't know his name, the main leader of the crew.
Is it her brother?
No, the brother is what you find out is the mission to go rescue him from a space prison, which is awesome. This is a great episode. A lot of fun. It's definitely a side mission story, Mike. I definitely felt that on this one a couple times when they're,
So Bill Burr's character is Mayfield.
So Mayfield, that's Bill Burr. So what you said was probably right the first
Rand
time.
Malk.
Ran.
So the Mandalorian contacts his former partner Rand Malk for work.
For work, yeah. And so he says, he's like, man, remember those days? He's like, remember when you were here, Mando? Remember all those days? What we do? He's like, you were an animal out there. He's like, remember what you said when I'd ask you, why do you do this? Why do you hunt down all these people? He said, target practice.
Savage.
And Mando's like, it was a long time ago. Obviously regretting this behavior.
I'm grown. I have a baby now.
Yeah, look at me. I'm a dad. There's a lot with that. Like, they're all on the ship on the way to go rescue this brother. They're going to pay him when he gets back. But they meet Yoda, and they find out about him. And the whole mission is drop into this prison, save this prisoner, who you don't know who it is yet, but it doesn't really matter. It is this girl's brother. Also has big purple things on his head.
Yeah, those things are.
Just feel like, what kind of shower do you have?
Yeah, let's do this.
2 of them. Great scene. You find out exactly kind of how tough Mando is, and he takes on like some of the coolest droids. They have some really cool droids in this one because it's like stuff you've seen from other movies, like some of the cooler like floating droids. There's like tougher for droids that like walk on their feet. They pull out the brother, and they've accomplished the mission. And at the last minute, they kick Mando into the cell and lock it up. The group gets divided on the way back to the ship, but they're all laughing like, we got Mando, we tricked him, he deserves this. And before they can get out, because they got like separated or something, Mando, as good as he is, escapes from this cell within 5 minutes, and comes out, faces all of them one by one, which is a great sequence of scenes. You get all of them. You get all of them one-on-one. Like, you get the scene with him sneaking up on Bill Burr, and it's flashing lights. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was like he's behind him.
I can't wait to watch.
Then
this
he's
again.
not.
You're just reminding me how good this was. Honestly, like, I can't wait to watch it again. I watched it the original time, but not.
You're gonna love it. I might watch it again.
Since.
I might watch it again. It's really fantastic. This might be. You remember when I asked you what's gonna be the next Game of Thrones? You know, what's gonna be the next Lost? Like, I mean, this has the potential to really do it. You said it.
I mean, they have the
You
money.
said that this was what, maybe the dark. You said this is like kind of Batman Begins.
Yeah. And now they're getting into, and I mean, Disney's not poor.
So anyway, back to the story. We'll get there. We'll do a nice recap at the end. Gets them all. The brother and him get on the ship. He leaves everybody behind. They're presumably dead, like he killed them all. Come to find out, he just locked them away.
Spared by the Mandalorian.
Spared. I like that. Is that what it says?
That was Wikipedia.
That's exactly what happened. He spares them. And then he gets his money from the guy, Ran, and as he's leaving, they're like, all right, see ya. Turns out he left a tracker back on the thing, and this was a highlight of the episode, folks. X-Wings come flying in, Rebel forces, 3 ships. Like, you get the close-up shots of them in the orange jumpsuits. You get the helmet of them, what they wore. Everything you've seen in the original 3 films is happening right now in front of you in a show from 2019. What a time.
Yes.
A simpler time.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It's easier. I can wrap my head around this shit.
Yeah.
Blows up the thing. I mean, those guys presumably die.
Yeah, I think they're definitely dead.
But we find out a lot. Like, he's not like a merciless killer, but he also is like.
He does have
All
a
right.
heart.
He has a heart, but he also has like a taste of revenge. He's like,
He's an anti-hero right now.
he's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I guess the end of the episode 6. Episode 7.
Penultimate episode.
They teased it out in the previous episode a little bit with the droid that was like flying Mando's ship. He got a message. It was coming in. They teased it out. In this episode, we find out exactly what it is. It's the message from Carl Weathers. Anybody know his name?
Grief.
Grief.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grief.
Grief Karga.
Grief Karga. He says, hey, man, I know we've been through a lot. I tried to kill you. Here's the real truth. Since you left, town's gone to shit. It's run by Imperial forces. We got stormtroopers all up in here. Please come back. We'll do a decoy. We're going to give this kid to them. We'll pretend. I'll help you. You keep the kid. My town gets rid of this Empire leader. We all go home happy. They all meet up. They bring along Quill, the short orange guy, the girl, Dune.
Cara Dune, yeah.
Cara Dune.
Yeah.
And they bring these animals to another planet, which I was like, damn, they're flying these things all across space. These animals they ride. Remember those?
Yeah.
Aunt Mandela has to learn one. That's a fun scene. I didn't talk about that. That's one of my favorite scenes when he learned how to ride that thing. And Quill says, Mando goes, why do I have to do this? You could surely got a speeder or something. And Quill goes, your ancestors tamed dragons or something. Like some wild animal. He's like, you can't ride this like pig. And then he rides it. So they ride these things. They come and meet up with Carl Weathers and his friends. They are sitting around a campfire one night as they're like kind of preparing for this deal that's going to go down. As far as you can tell, Mando's like, okay, I got to do this. There's no other way around it. I can't hold on to this kid anymore. People are going to keep coming. And this is a way for me to clear it all out. Because he's on the run. You can't just live on the run. Even if you were solo, it's just too hard. Well, unless you're Han Solo. So they're sitting around a campfire. All of them are there, and everything's happening. They're just talking. There's a lot of catch-up scenes here. And all of a sudden, these dragons or pterodactyls or something start coming out of the sky, pulling like the little pig animals out, take a couple people. They fight. Carl Weathers gets badly injured on his arm. And you guessed it, Baby Yoda comes over.
That face. I'm so tuckered.
He gets so tired.
Yeah.
Heals him. And they all see it. Well, then the next day they're going. We find out Carl Weathers was deceiving him the whole time. They were going to kill him. Well, he kills his own men, says, listen, after last night, I'm here to help. Like, he's like, you've got me. I believe in religion. Sign me up for whatever Jedi Bible school is.
Hell yes.
I'm so tired.
Night.
I'm just tuckered.
I'm just tired. I'm not hurt. So they get into this town where they think it's going to be as simple as the guy from before, the client from before. And they're meeting with him. They're in this thing. There's only going to be like four stormtroopers. It's very planned. They have the Mandalorian cuffed, and they're like, we'll give you the blaster when we get in there. All that happens, essentially. But it doesn't really matter because they get interrupted. Because there's way more than 4 stormtroopers. There's a whole army showing up outside this bar that they're in. It's like Cantina or something. It's not the Cantina. It's just one.
Yeah.
And this is where we meet Moff Gideon, played by the great
Gus Fring.
which is his real name is
Gustavo.
Gustavo.
It's Gus
It's
Fring's
Guan.
real
It's
name. It's
Giancarlo.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
And he comes in. He says, "Listen, I know who all of you are." Mandalorian says, "If he knows me, he's from." Like that's Moff Gideon. He was at the planet when I died. We get the full story on that in this episode. There's a full flashback. His parents try to save him. Mandalorians saved them. This is how he got introduced to the Mandalorians. I think we find that out in this episode. Mm-hmm. And he says, this guy, Moff Gideon's like, I'll give you till nightfall to come out here and just give up. Which I was like, nightfall? That's several hours. I've been like, you got 1 minute.
Yeah. Let's just
But
speed this up.
gave us more time. While this is happening, Quill,
Yeah.
the orange guy, the short little orange guy.
Mm-hmm.
I have spoken. That guy. He gets the call from Mando. He says, "Hey guys, we've been made. Get the kid on the ship. Get out of here." And it's this epic back and forth at the end of this episode of him riding on the thing, and Mando going, "Are you there, Quill? Are you there?" Quill's riding so hard, and then Moff Gideon's out there with his shoulders, like checking his Jedi watch, you know. And it's going back and forth, back and forth. Are you there? Are you there? Last shot. Here we go. Mando and them are held up. Switch back to Quill. Quill's on the ground, arm down. Baby Yoda's down, wrapped up in a blanket. Speeder comes in so fast, 200 miles an hour, swoops him up. Ends the episode. Right before the season finale.
That episode got me.
Oh, my God. Quill got killed. He got quilled. That's Carrie's joke. I stole it. That's
How long?
Carrie.
I was gonna say, how long have you
Carrie.
been waiting for that?
Carrie. That was all Carrie.
Man. Yeah,
All right.
That was sad to see.
Oh, it was the worst. I love
I
that.
remember, like,
I really did not want that to happen. That was really sad.
that's how I know this show was
That's right.
super good.
You don't hold on any cards.
Yeah. Steph would like, anytime Baby Yoda was in danger, she'd be like closing her eyes, like, oh, I can't watch. And like, she doesn't know anything about Star Wars.
Yeah,
And
that's
people
like,
like that can get sucked in.
it's like what Mike said last time. It's like this show can like really attract anybody, I feel like. Okay, so wrapping up this story, episode 8, big finale. So the Mandalorian is still held up in the cantina with Dune and Carl Weathers. And it's like, okay, I don't think we're going to get out of here. They're trying to get out of a vent. One big plot point that I missed that really matters for this episode. Remember the droid we met in the very beginning, the
IG-11.
IG-11, he was, after he got killed by the Mandalorian, Quill saved him, reprogrammed him to be a caregiver. Like he protects now, and he like can pour tea and all sorts of stuff. And Mandalorian doesn't trust him at all, doesn't trust him the whole season. He's like, keep that thing away from me, keep him away from the baby he's designed to kill. Well, we get a great scene in this season finale between two stormtroopers. And they're wearing the helmets like from Return of the Jedi, like when they're on the forest planet. Like those, you know what I'm talking about? Like with the goggles.
Yep.
And it's two actors. I called it immediately. Jason Sudeikis is one of
Okay.
them. And he's got Yoda in his backpack, and he keeps going, shut up! It's like, shut up! And the other one, I forget. Carrie looked it up.
I can't remember.
Carrie looked it up
was
again.
definitely Jason Sudeikis was a great.
And it's just
Cameo.
and they're shooting. They do a scene where the two stormtroopers are shooting at a thing on the ground, and neither one of them can hit it. And Jason Sudeikis, like, you don't know it's Jason Sudeikis, by the way. His helmet's on. He takes the gun and he's like, well, the droid shows back up and says, I'm here to protect. Basically knocks down the stormtroopers, picks up Baby Yoda, and says, I'm here to do what I'm supposed to do. Hops on the speeder. You get the intro, The Mandalorian. And it's great music. Droid on a speeder with a Baby Yoda on its front. And I'm sitting here watching, like, am I watching Star Wars The Hangover? Like, this is such a good show. This is such a good fucking show. Like, when that speeder goes, I was like, this is about to go down. Like, Carrie goes, it's going to be a big part.
That's the other guy.
Adam Pally.
Pally.
Adam Pally.
If you see his name, you'll be like, or if you see his face,
He's in
you'll be like,
Suicide Squad.
yeah. Mindy Project. Happy Endings was an old show he was on.
Well, him and Jason Sudeikis have a great back and forth as stormtroopers. You're going to love that scene.
Yep.
So this thing comes ripping into town. But, like, from the perspective of where they are, the stormtroopers have Mandalorian them all held down, and they look over and, like, the town's, like, blowing up. Well, this thing is coming through, and he's just shooting everybody. Boom, 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 behind his, like spinning Baby Yoda around, shooting from the front, shooting from the back. And it gives them an edge to where they basically save the day. Mandalorian even ends up getting on a big gun and shooting again. There's another scene like that. That's a really fun scene. He's like really shooting that gun. They end up getting cornered again. Before that, Moff Gideon does get a one-up on the Mandalorian during the big battle. When he's on that big gun, Moff Gideon points the gun at Mandalorian. Mandalorian is about to shoot him with the big gun, but before he can, Moff Gideon shoots like the machine that powers it. It blows up. Mando is so hurt, they pull him into the thing. Dune's checking him out. He's bleeding from his head. And she goes, I have to take off your helmet. And he goes, you can't. And she's like, but I can save you if you just let me. And he's like, no. He's like, you got to get out of here. And there's fire all around him, real powerful scene. And there's a guy coming with a flamethrower. He's a stormtrooper flamethrower. Then he comes in the bar. The droid helps them get out through a drain. Carl Weathers goes. Dune goes with Baby Yoda. And the droid says, I'm going to stay with Mandalorian. And Mandalorian the droid said, I got to take this off if I can help. And Mandalorian pulls up his gun and he says, don't try it. And the guy says, I can save you. And Mando says, I can't take this off in front of any living thing. And the droid says, I'm not a living thing. Takes it off. We see Pedro Pascal for the first time as the Mandalorian, and it's powerful. I couldn't explain it. It was really cool. He sprays some stuff on his head, puts the helmet on. They catch up with the rest. They're back in Mandalorian town. All the Mandalorians are like dead. Like things went down there. It's a pile of their helmets. The only one left is like the leader, the main Mandalorian woman with the golden helmet that always made his suit for him. And she's like this wise old leader that's been doing this forever. And she says, you are a father now. This is your responsibility. And he says, I'm not equipped to do this. Like, what am I supposed to do? She's like, you need to find where it came from. He said, I got to find this thing's home planet. And she said, this is the way. Like, it's like something about their creed about like what it means to like live and be alive and be a person and like grow. And she like says like, you're going to do this. She also says, I have a gift for you. It's a jetpack.
Not a big deal.
She says, you got to train this thing. It won't listen to you until you really know it. And they're like, all right, let's get out of here. So he takes the jetpack, take the baby. She's there. We get this cool sequence where she takes down easily, like 8 stormtroopers very easily. It was cool. She's alive still. They find this old boat in a lava river. And they're like, we got to use this thing to get out of here. So they're like trying to push it. Dune chick, she's like, I got an idea. She just shoots it. And it like comes loose. And I was like, that was stupid. Don't shoot boats like that.
Hey, if you learn one thing from this episode, don't shoot boats.
It still worked though. They get
Well,
on
then-
there. I guess it didn't matter.
I guess only if you're
if you're gonna save the day.
Yeah.
So they get in the boat. There's like an old droid in there, like helping him, like he's got a stick. Well, it looks like. Well, you know how I knew they weren't home free? Carl Weathers goes, "There's the opening. We're free." And I go,
Carl.
come on. Mando looks. It's all stormtroopers, and the droid says, "There's no other way out." And they're like, "We can't stop the boat." And Mando's like, what do we do? He's like, get ready for a fight. And the droid says, my primary function is to self-destruct if I'm captured. And Mandalorian says, I thought that you were reprogrammed and that your primary function was to protect us. And he says, it's true, but there's no other scenario where I live and the child lives. He's like, so if you give me permission, he's like, I'll not get captured and I'll go save the day. And Mandalorian's like, you'll die. And the robot says, don't be sad. It's okay. And Mandalorian goes, I'm not sad. And the robot says, yes, you are. And it's silent. Chills.
Yeah.
So then he goes in. He says, my primary function, blah, blah, I cannot be captured. Bomb comes out, blows up, kills them all. Boat comes out, happy day for about 10 seconds. Moff Gideon shows up with his ship coming in hot, shooting down on them from the sky. They're like shooting up with their guns. Mando's shooting. They're like, there's nothing we can do. He's going to come back again around for another thing. You know where this is going. Mando throws on the jetpack. Flies up on the next pass over the ship, hooks in his line to the ship, is riding it around, gets up to the top, is blasting the top, ends up getting 2 bombs in this epic flight scene where they're flying them all around, doing twists, doing turns. You get the full movie quality Death Star fighter ship, whatever you call those. TIE fighters. Blows the thing up, it goes down, he lands and does a really cool landing with the jetpack back down, save the day. And Carl Weathers goes, that was impressive, Lando. And I was like, it was impressive. Lando and Dune are going to stay there and make their life in this new town because all the evil's gone. And it's time for Mandalorian to head to Yodaville. We do find out that at the end, well, this is the big end. So before we do that, Mandalorian is going to take this thing to Baby Yoda to its home, try to find it.
And Karga and Dune. You keep saying Lando because I made you say Lando.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Dune
fine.
and, yeah, you're right. I've probably been saying it a
Yeah.
long time. Sorry, guys. Carl Weathers.
I like that better.
Yeah.
It's
It's
the
easier.
best when you just call them by their real name.
The last scene, the TIE fighters in the rubble. You know he's still alive. You're like, what's the status? You got the sand creatures all around them, to whatever they are. And then they end up running because something starts making a spark on the ship. Like this big spark. You're like, something's coming out. Boom, here it is. Kicks in the door. Moff Gideon has a black lightsaber. Because, as us real fans know, he's a Sith Lord.
Duh.
Or something.
Yeah, I was real fan. I don't know.
I mean, he's got a lightsaber, so
Yeah.
he's a
It's technically, I think it's called the Dark Saber.
the dark saber.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you guys know about. We talked about this already.
Yeah.
On a previous episode, but they always make their own. So just really interesting. Never seen black. We've seen a light one.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a light one in The Force Awakens.
Green.
Yeah.
blue.
We see them all, but I mean, like there was like the newest colors I've seen in the last 3 years have been that white one that Rey makes. It's like a white or gold or something, and then this one's black.
Yeah.
And
So
that's how season 1 ends.
that's
Ooh.
pretty dope. I just read
That was a lot.
Dark Saber was created by the first Mandalorian.
Wow. See, I don't want to read too much lore because like I don't know any of
Yeah,
that shit.
I know. I said that out loud. I was like, shut the fuck up, Andy.
Yeah, let's just not even talk. Like, because I just want to be surprised. Keep surprising me. How we do?
I think you did pretty well.
Well, I mean,
Dude,
it was
you
all.
killed
It
it.
was team effort.
I honestly can't. I might start watching this tonight because I can't wait now.
It's really good.
You were excited.
I was really. And watching it again, I just kept looking at Carrie going.
Huh?
I was like, this show is so good. So yeah, get out there and watch it. Season 2 drops October 30th. Today's October 6th, so we're right around the corner.
I mean, they're shorter episodes too. If you're used to like an hour episode, some of them like looking over here, 36 minutes.
Yeah,
you said,
Yeah.
you said you watched
over.
it in one day.
Like
right?
I said, every time it ended, I'd be like, oh man, I wish I was 10, 20 more minutes.
You watched this in one day on Sunday.
Oh yeah,
That's impressive.
but it moved.
Less than like around 3 hours, probably, right?
Yeah.
Something around there. Yeah, it was over before I knew it, and I was sad again.
Yeah.
And watching it like bench style, that was great. Because I mean, every time it ended, you'd have to wait another week.
Yeah, because this one, I mean, I'm looking at season 2, and it's every week one episode. Boom, 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 boom. They're not doing like 3 like the boys did just to get you through or anything like that.
Well, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Any other final thoughts on the Mandalorian before we wrap up and just do coming up for when we wrap up the episode?
Get excited, and it's. I mean, would you recommend a rewatch?
I said it before. I mean, I watched Star Wars: A New Hope before I watched this.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish I would have watched.
That
I wish I would have watched Empire Strikes Back. I wish watch them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Like if you have the
We got
time,
Yeah, we got time
which
now.
everybody has time right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want the whole experience, like throw on all the OG Star Wars films and then maybe Episode 3. And hell, even the new ones, because you got to think about the folks making The Mandalorian. They live in the now.
Mm-hmm.
So like everything is about dollar signs, and not everything's about dollar signs, but it's about connecting. And we talked about this. The newer Star Wars films play to a much younger audience along with an older audience. So there's going to be a lot of melding. This show could go any direction. We have the Obi-Wan show that's going to be on Disney Plus, as well as a Rogue One show. Which I don't know. I still don't know why we need that Rogue One show. I mean, how many times? What else can you say?
I don't know either, but I'm sure it'll be
Like
good.
another side story or something.
They're like, these were the plans to get the plans.
To get the plans.
All right.
Episodes 7 and 8 of The Mandalorian had 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
100%.
Yeah.
Didn't even know what happened.
The lowest episode was 5.
Well, I guess I'll give my ranking. Try to hone in on this scale. We need to. I've been thinking about it a lot since we talked about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to commit to it. We will create our own ranking scale, and maybe I'll just do it right now. It's out of 4.
Can you do points?
You can do points. It's on a 10. Yeah, it's on a 4.0 scale.
Yeah.
It's like GPA
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
because my rankings are gonna follow Andy's pretty much because I liked how you broke it down. It's like 4-star is I loved it and I will watch it forever. 3-star is I liked it. I probably don't need to watch it again. 2 was
It was enjoyable, but not
Ooh.
gonna take the time.
That's like Suicide Squad. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
ooh, but I watched it
Good point.
and I like had fun.
One is like, why is this on my TV?
What's some movies that are number one though to you guys?
Like one
Like to
movies,
set a parameter, but
like Artemis Fowl. It was awful.
well, you know
I
what?
guess it could be even zero.
Well,
like,
you know
could
what?
get a
You know
zero.
what?
It's like,
Rather than do all that, I think this is the perfect opportunity to set the stage right now because this is fresh off the brain. We just talked about it, and I'm going to give my raw ranking based on that caliber. And we're going to put together. I'm going to get a visual for this, and we'll get this up on the website so that we can always live and breathe off the same scale.
Okay.
But just saying again, 1 sucked, 2 3 I liked it, but I probably won't watch it again. It's like I didn't really. It's not the end all be all. And 4 is what you consider perfect. I'm going to call this right now, The Mandalorian Season 1, my personal ranking, is a 3.7.
Very high score.
wow.
Very high,
Very high.
but not the highest. But, I mean, I can't get over how good this show is. Like, I watched it again, and I was like a little kid even more. Do you guys
Wow.
want to rank it? You don't have to, but you're welcome to.
I have not seen it.
That's true. I
I-
forgot you hadn't rewatched it recently. Yeah.
Yeah, I initially I was gonna say 3.5, but I'm gonna rewatch it and get back to you.
Deal.
Maybe
All
I'll write some fan mail just to keep us busy.
Just to keep us having something to read. We don't, the episode, there's going to be weeks probably where we don't have any. All right, well, cool. More to come on Star Wars Land. More to come on The Mandalorian, October 30th. Mark your calendars, Disney Plus. We will be talking about it.
But not that calendar.
Don't look at this calendar. I don't think that camera sees it, but it's wrong.
Can't wait to see what October's cover photo
And
is.
once again, that was the
The meat.
Yummy.
meat of the episode. Yummy. Really sizzled. All right, coming up on Mostly Superheroes. More on The Boys. So season finale this week. Again, this is October 6th. We're on Tuesday, so it's going to be this week on Friday. We'll do something for it. Keep an eye out. Halloween is right around the corner. So maybe we do a Halloween episode. You guys want to wear outfits?
Oh man,
I have to get one, but yeah.
I'd be down.
Okay, let's do a Halloween episode.
Mine might be.
What I
right-
meant to say
right
is I'm
there.
doing one, and hey, probably even build a costume from a lot of stuff in here. Next up, we got to get working on this. We will. There's a lot going on, but we're going to do the movie ranking tournament event. It probably helps a lot now that we have a scale to work with.
Yes.
That was like a big first step, so we're already on the way. Reminder, we have the VHS watch party contest happening right now. 30 VHS's collection here. We're going to do a live watch of the winner that gets the most votes. And you also entered to be entered for a drawing for $25 in food delivery. Some titles that maybe I didn't say last time. Sense and Sensibility. Hoop Dreams. The Player. Much Ado About Nothing. Those are ones I didn't read last time.
Yeah.
And for you, that might be a first-time listener. Don't worry. There's some classics in there. We got Jurassic Park, Sling Blade, Shawshank Redemption, On Golden Pond.
Dogma that looks
Dogma.
like it hasn't been opened actually.
Yeah, Dogma has a plastic wrapper on it. A Christmas Story's in there.
If you did a watch along with Dances with Wolves, that would be a 7-hour episode.
Is it long?
I think Dances with Wolves is super long.
And then, of course, don't forget about Introduction to Canoeing.
Is that is that a movie or is that like an actual like
I think it's like a training film.
showing you how to?
I think
Okay.
it's like here's how you canoe.
I'll keep my vote then. That's what I vote.
If it's
for.
Introduction, I assume it's like a guy, a boat, and an oar.
Yeah. All right.
It's like
You
this
go
is it.
this way, and then you go this way, and then you go this way.
So, yeah.
Dances with Wolves 181 minutes, so 3 hours.
So is Avengers Endgame. 3 hours, 2 minutes. All right, so that contest is going on. Social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, anywhere you see it. If you follow the rules when you see it, you're entered. You can also enter at our website. I don't have like a page for it or anything right now, but if you go on the contact page, shoot us a line. I'll put you in there. And then lastly, we talked about this, teased it out. Lots of planning to do. We're only in October. We're going to get through Halloween, Thanksgiving first. But just wanted to highlight it again because I didn't want you guys to think that it's going to be one of these things we talk about and don't do. The Batman Returns Christmas special. It's happening. This show, sometime in December. It's going to be a fun episode. We're going to do some holiday cheer. We're going to do I don't know if it'll be a retail. It'll probably be like a retail combination deep dive of the classic Christmas movie. Batman
I
Returns with Michael
freaking
Keaton.
love it.
I bet you do. If you guys don't know, the Batman. Is it Batman Begins? Is that the title?
Which the first
The
Batman?
first Keaton.
Batman.
Just Batman. It's just Batman.
Yeah.
It's Andy's favorite movie.
Correct.
And then Mike called it. This is it's a Christmas movie.
Yes.
It's like snowing the whole time. You get Christmas, Christopher Walken, big hair.
Yeah, he looks so good. Shrek. Is his name like Shrek?
Is it
Max Shrek. I think his name's Max Shrek.
Max?
right,
It
yeah.
is Max.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito's Penguin.
We're gonna have fish as we eat.
We'll fish for dinner. So watch for that, and plenty more. We do a lot of stuff in between the show too. I haven't really been teasing that out. I'm pretty active on our social media accounts, doing giveaways, shout outs, a lot of sharing content, try to keep you updated on news, stuff like that. So if you're like, I don't, a lot of these episodes are long too. So if you're like, I just want to like look real quick, we're on the website, mostlysuperheroes.com, and all of our social media accounts, and of course, subscribe on YouTube. If you don't realize by now, we have great video content. We mentioned it earlier, new mics, new equipment, and we're making upgrades all the time. I think the message is clear. We're not planning on slowing down. Mike and Andy, any final thoughts?
Fan mail was my favorite thing I think we did today. With actual
Fan
fan
mail.
mail.
I really like the meat, but I think that's just because I'm hungry. But
The meat.
I'll be stopping at Chick-fil-A on the way home, just like always. Perfect spot. But
And if you guys
Yeah,
think of any
I
other
think-
segments, I know we want to get wrestling on here, sports. We'll see what happens.
And that fan mail, if that keeps coming, that could be a Q&A episode or discussion episode. Like if we get enough of those in, that was fun. That
It was
supervillain
fun.
one. That because it was kind of caught us off guard, but just shooting from the hip, like that's fun. That's fun for me.
Mhm.
I think it's fun for everybody here. If you have questions or something to discuss, or even like, I think it'd be cool if we did like a little video, like you call in or do something like that. I think
Yeah.
that'd be cool to have you on like a guest spot to discuss or something.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if it was fun. It was like it just gets the wheels turning.
Yeah.
And if we see enough content too, that's like maybe around the same topic, we'll build an episode around that. Or if we see a string of questions, it's like what the possibilities are endless. So yeah, definitely go check it out. And we do have the studio phone that we haven't been using yet, but 754 call log. That's 754 CALLOG. That's 225-5564 for all you people that never know what those numbers and letters mean. And it's a weird phone line. It's linked through Google Voice. It's free.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I was like, do we really?
It's
Do you
got
really have
yeah,
one?
it's got voicemail, it's got text, and it's just like on this one phone, the phone I found in the park.
Hey Logan, you up? And I just text the call.
yeah, I'm gonna save that.
Oh, I might. Yeah, save it up. If we might answer it sometime when we're here live. I didn't even tell you guys, but I have a good phone hookup for you guys too, and anybody else that's ever in the studio, so we can easily plug in our phone,
That's awesome.
call people right on the spot. Like if you're like, oh, I want to call Jake about Star Wars. We want to call Will about Halloween.
Yeah.
This is starting off as a recorded podcast, but we're gonna start moving toward like getting the caller people in, doing some fan mail, maybe some live shows.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh yeah, it's all coming. So plenty more to come. Most superheroes, thank you for listening. Really appreciate you guys, and plenty more to come in the coming weeks. Mike, Andy, until next time, we'll see you on Mostly Superheroes. Take it easy.